I am post-nap, refreshed, recharged. I had New York steak with eggs for breakfast. It was delicious. The grandniece is here. My sister-in-law is here. It is a good day where we live, everybody. It is hot outside. The weather is finally getting hot. Went to the park, did some exercises today. What is the weather right now? It is 90 degrees outside today. It'll be up to 97 by Saturday, aka 36 Celsius. So it is starting to get hot finally. Oh, that sounded bad. Explosions! Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, wherever you happen to be from. I see an Arcane Gearsmith. I see a Bubble Over the Rising. I see an Active 86. Oh, I had a delicious nap. It was about 2 hours. I also got up at I didn't sleep much last night. I only did like 4 hours last night. So this morning was wake, bake, work, finish the stream, went to the park, did some workout, took the grandniece to school with my wife and my sister-in-law, came back, had breakfast, took a shower, and passed out with a full stomach. And my cat Lucas, who had a very bad day yesterday. ¿Qué pasa? Aquí. Está conmigo. And now we're back for an afternoon session. Did some video editing. Found out that apparently I have a whole new. I've hit a new level of. I've hit a new level. Above and beyond what I talked about in the video last night on the channel. I did not know that piece had gone, because I mentioned a video in my YouTube channel member thing yesterday, and I mentioned this Twitter post that had done I think I said 35,000 views or something. Apparently that thing went viral overnight. And I have multiple hit pieces that have gone out now. It's been reshared 94 times on Twitter. It's up to 100,000 views, and it just keeps going. So it's funny. The amount of people who are crashing out that I'm having fun with this game. It's a good show, Dark Lord Strider. The mall show is good. We need more episodes. Anyway, I think it's funny, the amount of people who are upset that I'm having fun playing a video game. Fuck them! That's why they're stuck being a miserable little twats in their mom's basements, and I'm out here having fun playing with a real girl. And getting paid to play video games.
Keep a lookout. Notify us.
It's good to be me. Alright. You know what I want to do before we do anything else? Let's just go blow up some space pirates, guys. There's a couple of Crimson Fleet missions. I don't want to do anything else other than just blow some pirate ships out of the sky. And then we're going to go back to the home base and do some crafting because I got some skill points to spend.
You know that comes up?
Well, there go their shields. Whoops.
Whoops.
I've got some stuff on my mind when you have the time.
You do.
Their engine is on.
Jesus.
There's no getting out of this one.
Target shields are fragged. Shields. Whoops.
And the Varun.
Their shields are gone.
That got a little too exciting back there. Micro wants you to know how much much. We appreciate the help.
Copy that.
Any way we can repay you?
I'll take credits. Credits, please.
Hope this helps you out. Thanks again for the help.
That
Over and
new
out.
game. So that video on
I'm
New
all
Game
ears.
Plus is like 2.5 years old.
Dad, can I have a pet?
A pet.
I already made an
We live on a
update
starship, Cora. Pets on
to that
starships
video,
don't always mix
which I
up
would
well.
suggest go watching.
Aw,
It just
come
went out
on,
like last week.
please. I need somebody to talk to while I'm on the ship by myself.
Give him an inch. We'll see, Gumdrop.
Anyway, that New Game Plus video is like 2.5 years old. Go watch the updated one, which is like last week, I think. It's in the new playlist over on YouTube. Yeah, Bubbles, that's one of the pieces I mentioned in that channel member video last night. If that's the one I'm thinking of. Because the guy, like, he did a reaction video to one of my pieces, but he didn't actually react to the whole video. He reacted to a portion of it, and then I haven't watched the video. I've been told about it, and I just read the comments and I was laughing because the comments are just everybody who's been blocked from my channel ranting in his comment section about how much they hate me. And I'm just like, oh, I have officially made it, kids. I've got hit pieces going out left and right. Traffic's good. I'm gaining hundreds of followers every single day. You can't take the sky from me.
You're mine.
Woo, overshot that. Oh, he ran. Bitch.
Nice! That ruined their shields. Target's grab drive is down. So sorry, folks. They lost their shields. Tragic. Just tragic. Talk to me.
Yeah. That's what you call easy credits right there. And that's, for me, what a great way to ease into my afternoon Starfield session. I just show up, blow some pirates out of the sky, get some free loot. Ooh, I like the fog effect on the screen right there. That's nice. On my view screen, it's like the glare of the sun and like some fog. Groovy, baby, groovy. I should add those shirts, JK. I should totally add some I Hate Renfail shirts to my merch store.
Board's all green. Successful jump.
People who say, but those are 20-year-old games, miss the point. Correct, they do miss the point. Because the point isn't that those are
Hello,
20-year-old
Captain.
games.
We pose no threat here. Quite the opposite. Our ship's full of the faithful, Sanctum Universum. Happy to talk if you're inclined. We're due for. I'm making another run out of New Atlantis,
I don't
taking
remember these
Universal's
guys.
out in the stars. To get closer to God and to appreciate the galaxy and all its majesty.
Anyway, yes, the people who continually repeat the phrase, but they move the goalpost. So no one ever cared, ever, about loading screens until we got to Starfield, and suddenly loading screens became a thing. No one cared about manual land-off manual landings and takeoffs until Starfield. No one cared about cruise drive or warp speed until Starfield. And so those talking points to me I find to be incredibly amusing because when you point at all of these games that people will say these are classics, right? Mass Effect, Knights of the Old Republic, um, XCOM, uh, Wing Commander, all of these games that we can point at. Freelancer. Freelancer, I think, did actually have. I can't remember though. It's been a long time since I played it. Stop being a psychopath, kitty cat. We can point to 100 different science fiction games that had no space flight, had lots of loading screens, no manual landing and takeoff of their ships, and none of those complaints were ever discussed. But the moment you bring it up against Starfield, everyone will immediately say, you're not allowed to use those as an argument because they're 20-year-old, 10-year-old, 7-year-old games. Or they will say, well, we didn't mind in those games because the story was good, but the story in Starfield is dog shit. So it doesn't matter what the argument is, which is why I love pushing those buttons because it's free traffic. It's free traffic. It is anti rage bait. So you know how all of these other content creators create rage bait content that's just about negativity? I create the opposite of that, which is the videos pointing out the hypocrisy, and those people who are always raging anyway get very angry and then rage about my positive content, and I get called lots of names while making lots of money. And I'm okay with that because there is nothing like getting called a paid shill when it's true. There is absolute 100% truth to the fact that I'm a paid shill. 100% bought and paid for. Every single game I play. It is a good job. It is a cool job to get paid to play video games. Reb says, why is everyone saying the game is unplayable on the PlayStation? Working fine for me. It's working fine for me as well. I've had a couple of crashes, but nothing. I crash more playing No Man's Sky than I crash playing this game. Bubbliner says, I made it about 5 minutes into the video before I decided to shower, and walking the dog was better use of my time. I didn't even bother sending it to you because I felt it was kind of desperate and boring. Correct. I had this morning I had a guy. The reason I'm aware of it is because there was a guy on my Twitter who was like spamming the link to that video on like every post that I made, trying really hard to make sure that I saw that it was out there. So I'm aware of it, but it doesn't bother me because it's free publicity for me. Double-decker cockpits are cool. Nice. I know people are having PS5 crashes. There have been a couple of media outlets who have talked about it. I have had crashes. If you go look at my review that I just made, I actually dedicated a portion of the end of the video talking about the PS5 crashes. I crash more frequently playing No Man's Sky than I do with this game, but I did mention them in my review of Freelands. Bethesda did post that they plan on doing a hot fix for the crashes on the PS5. Nice. Yeah, Bethesda always patches their games. I'm not worried about it. Wild Welsh says, how do you get paid to play games when you barely scrape 10 viewers and like 60 on YouTube? You just need to watch the income reports, because I don't have to like convince you. The proof is literally out there. Like, you can look at all of my 10 viewers on TikTok, 60 on YouTube. It depends every day. But it's not up to me to convince you, Wild Welsh. My income reports are public, as are all of my sponsored gigs with companies, all of the sponsored reviews, the sponsored streams, all of the keys that I get sent all the time. We're getting ready to jump in and play the Expanse beta with Owlcat Games here in a couple of weeks. What else have we done this year? We've already done Solasta 2 with the Tactical Adventures team. We've done Styx and Greedfall 2 with Nakon. I mean, probably 50% of the games I play these days are games I play in partnership with companies. So it doesn't matter what you think I'm making based on what you think my viewership is, because the income reports are public and you can go watch those income reports. I have been tracking the income and the analytics since I started doing this 4.5 years ago. We do quarterly analytics and we do annual analytics, showcasing where does the traffic come from, where does the money come from, how much money am I making, how much is it from ad revenue, how much from memberships, how much from the merch store, how much from book sales, how much from sponsorships and contracts. So I can't help it if you want to be one of those ignorant people who sits there and goes, but you've only got 10 people on TikTok and only 60. This is not real. It's not real. So, oh, I don't have to. I just posted a video last night, Wild Welch. Go watch it. We literally just did a March 2026 update last night. It's about 40 minutes long. And you can go watch. You can also watch our big old analytics report for 2025, which was posted in January, which talks about how much money we made in 2025 and where all that income came from. Those videos are available for people to watch, so go forth and educate yourself.
We grav jumped to a few different systems. We're lucky to have some pilgrims who have never
We're heading
been
that
on
way,
the road.
Babylonia.
Seeing so many
We're heading that
marvels
way.
can be a life-changing experience.
That's right, Planku. It's 10 more viewers than they have. That's right.
Actually, it's one of the best reasons.
Yeah, Micah, that's we didn't update it NG Plus because that one video for some reason got popped up in the feed again. And it's like a 2.5-year-old video, and I was like, oh, everybody's watching the New Game Plus video that I published when the game first launched. Which I think there's still some relevant stuff to that, but the new video I did talked about, like, because the changes they've brought to the game with being able to, like, take things through the Unity now adds another layer on top of being able to farm quantum essences. Those are a couple of additional layers that add nuance to the New Game Plus experience. So, all right, it's hard not to feel something profound traveling the stars.
I completely agree. It was a pleasure talking with you. We have to be going, but I hope God
yeah, it's
watches
wild,
over you
Tiff.
out there in the stars.
It's wild. All right, we're gonna ban a few bitches right now. Hold tight. We gotta get our band music ready. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So thanks to Babylonia for the band music. We are banning a couple of bitches off of our YouTube channel right now, and they can go cry in somebody else's video. Wild Welsh, get fucked. Bye-bye. And who was the other one who said, what did he say? I gotta find it now. Marius Linkberg says he always answers rude. That's just how he does it. You too could get fucked, Marius. Bye. Bye, Felicia.
Strong hand, fist of iron, judgment falls. Hearts are dying.
Bad hammer strikes. Tears like rain. Justice served. You will never win trying to troll me in my chat. And now you can go cry on someone else's YouTube video about how Renfail banned me for not liking his video. I didn't share his opinion and he banned me. Wah! 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 Why won't you tell us how much money you make, bro? I do tell people how much money I make. It's right there in the analytics reports for our channel members, as all of our channel members know. We literally open up the YouTube analytics and we say, this is how much money we made from YouTube this month. This is how much money we made from Twitch this month. This is how much money we made from merch sales. This is how much money we made from sponsorships. It's right fucking there. Do your due diligence, biatch. Don't worry about it, Henry Lighton. Just tuning in and watching is enough of a way to support.
Shields up. Let's dance.
Yeah, the fact that they think I'm angry is the funniest thing of all time, JK. Why so angry, bro? How about, do you not understand what a stage presentation is? Do you not understand how to get on stage and perform for an
I
audience?
was lost.
Have you never been to the theater, ever?
How can I help?
Have you never been to the theater and watched a stage actor get on stage and perform his lines in an overly dramatic fashion to draw the audience in and have them in the palm of their hand? Have you never been to a musician's performance and seen the lead singer get up on stage and rip his shirt off and bleed out on sweat as he performs to the wailing crowd of headbangers and mosh pitters? Like, that is performance art. Oh, it did not. What's up with that? Do we have a bug in the database? Jemison. Click. There it goes. That was weird. It didn't go the first time. Interesting. Rip my shirt off. Dude. I have my man boobs are a little too much right now for me to rip my shirt off. I'm working on getting back in shape. Give me a bit. No one needs to see hairy old man boobs right now.
Sight is clear. Descent started.
I hope you're having a good day.
I'm having a great day, Cora.
I don't want to like it, but I got to admit, I've got some stuff in my mind. When you have the time.
I always have the time for you, Sam.
I don't got many friends, so I figure I got a level with you. My past keeps showing up. I should get ahead of it before I get behind it. Hell, this is tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Hey, what are you doing? Don't be doing that. Take the leap and start talking, buddy.
Right. You know, when I turned 18, my dad used
That's
one of
right.
his many connections.
The only
to get me my
Rins
first
channel
real job.
after dark.
That plus the magical code.
That's where the shirt comes off.
Meant I was shipping freight out of Aquila.
Hey, stop
There's
it.
a way to take the wonder out of space. It was working for that outfit. Every milligram of helium-3 accounted for. Timetables down to the second. Too busy to ever really appreciate anything. Or even look up.
All the charm of a county wrapped up in bureaucracy.
Yeah, that's about the size of it. So, an opportunity comes by from the boss man. He says, run this job, don't ask questions, and there's a bonus. Hell, I was still just a kid. I jumped on it. I knew I wasn't shipping some dried mangoes, but suddenly, God help me, it was fun.
I can see the appeal.
Yeah, I was done too.
No! I said...
I don't got many friends, so
I
my past keeps...
Did I actually hit the wrong button?
Hell, this is tougher. Right. You know, when I turned 18,
Uh-huh.
that plus the every
Okay,
milligram.
there you go. Okay.
So, an opportunity.
Yes.
Hell, I was still. I knew I wasn't shipping.
I could see the appeal.
And you're a hell of a lot smarter than
I must have
was.
hit the wrong button with my thumb.
So,
I have my gloves on, so
more
sometimes
jobs
there's a little
started
bit of
coming.
a...
And everywhere I went, suddenly dangerous people were much better armed. I'd hear about armed conflicts and civilian casualties. Innocent casualties. And I'd pretend that wasn't me. Maybe I wasn't smuggling weapons, maybe I was carrying something else. As long as I never open the boxes, I can keep pretending.
That's right. Well, you know you didn't kill those people.
Not directly. And I tell myself they'd get guns from someone else. But in my heart, I knew blood was on my hands. Soon the boss man's relying on me, and the pay
Do you need to go outside?
was nice. We also started partying a lot together. Hard. There are whole weeks that are blank. Never had a lick of trouble.
Until I did.
Till I did.
You can't keep playing with fire without getting burned.
You're right.
Why am I
of
wearing
course.
gloves? Old man
To
hands.
this day, I don't know what I was running that last job.
Helps with my
But
tendonitis
it
and
was
stuff.
tasty enough, a whole mess
Or
of
at least
Crimson
that's what the
Fleet
gloves
shoved me at the
claimed when I
rendezvous.
bought them. And maybe
Yeah,
it's a
sane man
placebo
would've been
effect,
scared.
but...
But I looked at my
Fuck it.
peasant trading skiff's dual cannons and
Ah,
shouted,
Blanca, Blanca, Blanca,
"Oh,
Blanca,
this
Blanca.
is on!" Yeah, I blew up one of the pirates before they realized that I was out of my gourd. I managed to get them down to 2 left before every system I had was fried. I was done. And that should have
Hang
been
on
the
1
end.
second.
But that's when the Rangers showed up. I guess we're having a good old-fashioned staring contest.
Alright. Man, I need to put a blanket in that cat bed. They are all off to the supermarket.
As much as I enjoy having you around,
You must have been incredibly relieved after that.
you think? And then, dependable and straight as an arrow, Lillian Hart came on the comm, and well, it's like hearing the voice of an angel. The Rangers took them out, no problem. All that's fuzzy, though. See, I passed out. And when I came to, Lillian was there. Seems the Rangers were impressed with me. Offered me a job. Yeah, by all rights, it should have been a prison cell, but Lillian, she saw something in me. And I took the job. And that's it. All my cards are on the table.
If you haven't done anything you're ashamed of once or twice, you haven't even lived.
That's, well, that. But the thing that scares me is Cora. I mean, I gotta tell her someday. Sometimes the way she looks at me, I'm not worthy of that. But to see that look gone...
Oh, yeah. Here, take both of them. Lleve los dos. Okay. Okay. Just know I'm here for you, Sam, with all my heart. Always.
That means a great deal to me. Just so you know, all this is why Lillian is something else. And I really need to own that. And have a tough talk with Lillian. Tell her about that follow-through you mentioned. Cora's at an important age right now. Every visit counts. You can't flake on her. Well, for now, let's do something more cheery.
That's right.
Like getting a root canal.
No, man. We're going to go do some weapon modding, I think. And then I probably need to go do some cat herding because Chris just ducked out to the supermarket and I got to make sure that all the animals are accounted for. I know you want to go out, Blanca. Just give me a few minutes here. Psychopath. As always, guys, we are strapped in for our afternoon session. I always like to remind people I live in the boonies. Sometimes there are internet and power outages. If I disappear, I will be back as soon as I can. Usually it's just a few minutes at most when those things happen. I am settled in for a 3 to 4 hour stream. So if I do randomly disappear, just be patient. I'll be back. And if I'm not, within like 10 minutes, then that usually means the power went out. Otherwise, I do plan on being here for the whole afternoon, so we've got a big old afternoon of Starfield ahead of us. Let me take care of some cat stuff right now. I need to make sure that all the animals are where they need to be, and then we're going to do some crafting and some skill ups. But I do need to make sure that all this is squared away. It shouldn't be more than a couple minutes here. That is the box with no limits, Stokes. There's also the one upstairs, too, where you can stash your... if you haven't watched it, Dokes, I did the #1 tip for new players video right before the PS5 launch. And that one talks about the upstairs box, the downstairs box. There's also, if I'm not mistaken, I think these weapon racks... Yeah, see, these weapon racks also have unlimited storage. So... it's not just the box. So if you want to store things, like you want to put all your weapons here, these weapon racks also have... Ooh, that one has shotgun shells. These weapon racks, god damn it, Blanca, also have unlimited storage. I'll be right back. Alright. Cats have been sorted. I've got coffee. The last of it. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Loud Cover says I thought the storage on the ship was limitless. Oh no, the ship storage is not. every ship has a different storage size, and you can expand the storage size of the ship. You can use ship modifications and ship modding to expand the size of the storage on the ship. The only unlimited storage in the whole game is the stuff right here. Alright, I need to do some modding. We are working our way down here towards special projects, but I need to spend 4 more points. I have maxed my weapon engineering, so we are now going to get into space suit modding. I need to create 5 pack mods. Sam, I need this. I need the station, bro. I need to just pick something that is like super simple, that I'm not going to use. Like just throw it away. Nickel cosmetic. What is that cosmetic thing? I've never seen that before. What is that resource?
You can stand to drop a few pounds. I don't mean a diet.
Okay, that's 5 done. Stash everything back in the box. How long did it take till I had consistent chatters? It just depends on the day as well. I even still have days when the chatting is less than other days. It just depends on the game I'm playing, depends on the day of the week. I've always had somebody here, but obviously in the early days, you know, 3 people watching, 5 people watching, 7 people watching. It's just a grind. It's like anything else in life. You start a restaurant, any business you start, it's going to be slow in the beginning, and you just got to be persistent. Dig in. How do you do it better? What's up, Morpheo? Keep on going. I haven't, you know, I can't tell you when was the last time I didn't have people chatting. But I can guarantee if you go back and watch the streams, you'll be able to find it, because every single thing I have done has been public, live, and is freely available to everyone. All the way back to the very earliest videos I published on this channel 7 or 8 years ago, before I ever got even close to doing this full time. Let's go work on the Aquila quests. I think it was Jinxie's or whatever his name is, was famously, he got famous. When he got famous, everyone was looking at, like, if for the first year that he streamed, no one tuned in. It was his dad. His dad was his only viewer for like a full year. The only person that tuned in was his dad. And he didn't give a shit. He just kept on going. What's up, SlayerX? Welcome to the Twitch channel. Thanks for the sub. Thanks for the support. No, they're not going to put any sort of additional cruise activity to go to another galaxy because going to another galaxy requires a grav jump. So there is no
Never ever go
like
outside the city walls
traveling
after
through
sunrise.
grav space. It's just that you're making a grav jump. You should look up the science behind what a grav jump is. That there is a reason why scientifically we would never get a cruise mode for grav jumps. It's not like warp space. It's not like jumping into warp in Star Wars where you're in light speed. Or warps in Star Trek, sorry. It's not like going into light speed or warp in either Star Trek or Star Wars, where you're in warp speed for however long or you're in light speed for however long. A grav jump is a jump. So there is no extended period of time in between point A and point B. You're making a jump. Anyway, that's in the lore. Morpheo, hang on, I think that was the other one. Somebody said something, where did it go? Oh, Smoothie said, of all the streams, my favorite ones have been the first few days of Stalker 2. Funny but painful. God damn, that game. I love that game, but yes, the early days were just rough as shit. That game was not in a good place when it launched. Grab jump is bending time and space. Yes.
Now look at me.
Morpheo said, I watched your videos with the classes and background, planning to start an RP run as a professor once I finish Crimson Desert. Oh, I wouldn't worry too much about spoiling things because you'll be making lots of different decisions and you might not see these quests anyway because the game is so big that it's kind of hard to see everything and do everything unless you're specifically going out of your way to do so.
City? Let me know. I'll take all the help I can get. Got a moment to hear about the Low House?
Am I playing the new Pokemon? No, I'm not playing the new Pokemon. I have no desire to play the new Pokemon.
In my home?
Good to know there's still some folks who can take an interest in the welfare of others. The Low House is a place where folks down on their luck can get a hot meal and a bed to sleep in. More importantly, they can do it with some dignity. No need to beg or steal.
Dignity is important.
Everything's given with no questions asked and no favors owed. I run the place. Have for years. But to do it, I have to rely on the kindness of others.
No, Morpheo, and here's why. We haven't had that question asked in a while. So I spent 25 years as a guild leader in MMOs. And I've also spent the vast majority of my adult career running companies and managing people. It's just what I've always done. Manage people. Manage MMO crew. Manage teams of people in MMOs from 40 to 150 people. Manage teams of people from 3 to 30 people. Manage $1 million budgets. I've always been managing companies and or groups in video games. And there came a point...
Take the time you need.
4 or 5 years ago when I just pushed all that behind me and said I'm only going to focus on me, myself, and I and my wife, and that's it. I will occasionally dip into co-op stuff. Like, for example, when I have played Destiny 2, Allie has jumped on and helped me out. Lou has jumped on and helped me out. When we did Dune Awakening last year, I was a part of a guild that our community put together. I was not the guild leader. Someone else put it together. Most recently, I even got called out of retirement a few years back to go do World of Warcraft with people. And I sort of reluctantly ended up getting shuffled into a leadership position there, even though I didn't want to be.
You're okay.
And was very, very happy that I was able to just push it off to someone else when I reached the point where I was like, I can't be doing this. Like, it's not. I have no desire to be a people manager anymore. And what I have found is that anytime I play in that kind of a space, there is a parasocial thing that happens because I'm a streamer and a content creator where people expect you to become like the de facto leader of things. And I have no desire to do that or be that anymore. I just want it to be me. And unfortunately, it's hard for people to separate that I'm just, at the end of the day, I just want to play games. And I don't want to be the head of a guild or the head of an organization or the face of a group or the face of, I just want to, so
You
like the
tired?
Dune Awakening one was nice because other
I
people
know
took the
I am.
charge and I just logged in and played. And like once a week I would hop on and be like, hey, anybody want to go do something? And we would go do stuff. But also the reality is I'm a variety streamer. So I play lots and 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 I play 30, 40 games a year minimum. And most people don't, especially people who tend to like to play live service games. So when you get somebody who plays World of Warcraft as an example, or Lord of the Rings Online, they will tend to play that game as their primary game, whereas I'm just jumping in as a tourist for 2 to 3 weeks, because that's usually what I get. Most games that I play, even the big games, because right now you'll see a lot of people going, all you're doing is Starfield. Not really true. I have been hard and
You're
heavy on
okay,
Starfield for the last week because it
right?
launched. But right before Starfield, what was I doing? Greedfall 2, Crimson Desert, Solasta 2, Styx, Blades of Greed, lots of other things for lots of other companies. What are we doing on the 14th? Hades 2, Replaced. What are we doing on the 28th? Diablo 4. What are we doing on the 30th? Seros. So, people get hyper fixated and they think that because, like, when I do a game where I have a big bubble of traffic, this game has always given me great visibility. But the flip side of that is people will hyperfixate on these videos getting hundreds of thousands of views across all the things that we're posting. And they're like, Renfail only plays Starfield. No.
Take the
It's a
time you
game that I'm
need.
playing for 2 to 3 weeks out of this particular month, and then I will play it in between other projects, but it's not a primary game for me. I don't have primary games. I play games for 2 to 3 weeks at most. A lot of games are only 4 to 5 days. Like last year, I think we did like 40 games. I remember like August was like 13 games. September was 9 games. Like we played a lot of games last year. We've already played a lot of games this year. And the thing with the live service games is like a lot of people will just hyperfixate on those things and play those for long periods of time, whereas I'm only coming in for a couple of weeks. So it doesn't make it very conducive because I'm only
You
there for a
tired?
couple of weeks to see something and then I'm
I
off
know
to the
I
next
am.
thing. And you have other people who are spending 6 months playing that game. So it doesn't really, it's not conducive to playing in a team format. There are occasions when I will, um, we will probably. Garrett says, which that's one of the reasons I watch Renfail. I play 1 or 2 games a year, sometimes more, and then I watch Renfail and see other games. Thank you very much. The coffee is hot, Detroit. Thank you very much for that. The courier at the clinic. It's a grab drag. I literally can't get there any faster. That's a great line. So yeah, I don't
You
really.
tired?
There
I
are
know I am.
times like I know when I circle back around and do Dune Awakening on the console when it comes out this fall, we will probably do some community stuff around that. I won't be the person leading that charge, but like if someone wants to form a guild in our Discord and etc., that's fine. Yeah, like Gerbrum had a good point. A lot of people when they get into a game, they'll play it for 2 or 3 months. A good example of this would be Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders came out earlier this year, and I went in on Arc Raiders, even though it was not my typical game. And I enjoyed it for a very brief window of about 2 weeks, right? And we had other people in our community like Deeks. Deeks went all in on Arc
You're
Raiders for like
okay,
3 months, maybe.
right?
Might have even been a little bit longer than that. And so, had we had the people in our community who wanted to play lots of Arc Raiders have the opportunity to do that by going and playing with other people like Deeks who are in our community. But I'm not the face of that because for me, I'm just there as a tourist for the couple of weeks to get the traffic out of it, and then I'm off to the next game to get the traffic out of that one, and then I'm off to the next one to get the traffic out of that one, and so on and so forth, because my job as a variety streamer is to play lots and lots and lots of games. In the past, I have tried really hard to always play a game to completion, This is the first year where I am not actively doing that. And that's a business decision, which I talked about in a video that people can go watch over on YouTube.
Take the time you need.
But I have no desire to play games to completion this year. So what I'm doing is I'm focused on the fun foremost, and second of all is the traffic. So if I'm having fun and the traffic is good, then I'm happy to continue playing that game. If the traffic is good, but I'm not having that much fun, I'm still willing to pursue it as long as the fun factor is there. Good example of this would be Crimson Desert. There was a lot of stuff that I did not like in Crimson Desert, but the fun factor was there for the 2 weeks or so that I played that game, right? All the traffic was great, everything. I could have continued to play that game for probably another couple of 100 hours. I didn't want to. Starfield released, I'm off to Starfield for 2 weeks. And then, by the end of the month, this will become a background game, and I'll be playing lots of other things. So,
You know I am.
yeah, I really don't do live service games anymore. And I think most of it is just because my career is as a variety streamer, first and foremost. But there is a huge aspect of it where I just do not have any desire to be a people manager. And invariably the moment, because this is my job, I take it way more seriously than anybody else is ever going to take it, because this is my livelihood. And so I am very, very schedule dependent. I don't take days off unless I'm just absolutely sick or there's an emergency. I am here the same time, the same place, every single day, doing the same thing, day in, day out. I don't have mental health days. I don't have a period. I don't have kids. I don't have blah, 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 blah. And so for me, it's almost militaristic in how regimented my routine is. And that is not something that works with others very well, because lots of others, there's lots of things that pull them away. They have jobs, they have day jobs, most importantly, they have kids, they have significant others, they have other commitments, they have, and I'm just very much like, I am here as, for 2 weeks and then I'm off to the next thing. Correct. Like Dribbum says, as a guild leader, raid leader, you got to spend at least 20 hours a week managing people, and I'm not doing that anymore.
Right?
I did that for a very long time. And I don't anymore because my time is better spent. I'm retired. If in that regards, I am retired. I am retired from people managing. They got me out of retirement for a little bit with World of Warcraft, and it was a good time for about 12 months or however long it was, because we did. What did we do? We did all of Dragonflight and then the War Within. That was like 12 months, maybe or so, 12, 15 months, and we did all the raids, and I was the raid tank, but I ended up, by the end of that 12, 15 month run, whatever it was, it went from me just being one of like 7 or 8 officers to being, I was the person who was leading the charge, and it was like, I've got to be playing all these other games, but you've got all these people who are depending on me to be there and to come up with the raid strategies and lead the raids and run the raids and come up with the things and do the pots and all, and I'm like, I got like 20 other games I need to be playing. Like, I can't be here babysitting, 20 people every week. So I was more than happy to just be like, no, I am not. That's not what I signed up for. My days of doing this are done. I am off to do other things. That was my brief, I came out of retirement for a brief little bit. I really like the way we did it with Dune Awakening, because that was like 6 weeks. I played that for about 6 weeks. Pretty hardcore, and
right?
Other people managed it, and I just ducked in and ducked out, and we did I think it was Saturdays or Sundays I would group up with people, but the rest of the day I was just focused on my stuff and all the guides and the content creator program with Funcom and everything. But yeah, I don't really have any desire to group up with to manage people or do group stuff with the community. Nothing against the community, but it's just like I'm past that with my career. I'm happy to do it when it coincides with other things that people are interested in, like the Dune Awakening thing, but it doesn't, like, if our community wants to get together and go play Arc Raiders, that's awesome. We have a Discord, 10, 12, 15 people can get together and go play Arc Raiders for 3 weeks. They can do that independent of me. Like, that doesn't have anything to do with me. And there is one other small thing I will say, which is also something that is worth noting that has also made me very reluctant to do it anymore, is because invariably it is so. Anybody who's been here every single day has seen the type of trolls we get on a daily basis, right? It's a part of doing this for a living, and you try really hard to police the communities and everything else. So, you know, I could tell you some horror stories of back when I used to do more, in the beginning days of my streaming, I didn't have all the restrictions on our Discord. And so I can remember when we were doing World of Warcraft Classic and
You're
we were
okay,
doing Lich
right?
King, and our Discord was fairly open at that point, and we had some people who got really, some trolls who got angry and got banned from my YouTube channel, and they immediately went to my Discord and started spamming majestic black men doing amazing things to each other. Unfortunately, that's not what my Discord is about. And many people saw those images and went, "Oh my God, what just happened?" And we immediately banned that person, got rid of the images. They did it again and again and again over the course of like a week. They kept hitting my channel to the point where I went out and paid for a MEE6 professional moderation account, took the time to teach myself how to use it, how to get it all set up,
You
put everything in
tired?
place, added the leveling. People
I
can't
know I
post pictures on
am.
our Discord unless they've leveled up, blah, 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 blah. Then they started adjusting their tactics and trying to like send private messages to people. And it's like, okay, fine. But the worst was we were hosting a raid for World of Warcraft Classic doing Lich King, and it was one of the first raids at the end of the Lich King. It was like the very first dragon raid that you do or whatever. And we had, I don't know, 30, 40 people in chat. I'm live streaming the game on YouTube and Twitch, and somebody joins the Discord who was someone who was there for the raid and immediately starts yelling the N word into chat over and over and over, screaming it at the top of their lungs, the N word. I managed to mute them and ban them,
Take the time you
but
need.
3 of those N words got pushed and were heard by everybody on YouTube and Twitch who were watching my streams. So I got literally stream sniped by someone yelling the N word, trying to get me banned while playing a game, which is another big reason why I don't really have any desire to do a lot of stuff with the public anymore, even if it is community members, because as much as I do I try my hardest to police things, and we try to make sure that everyone's here for the right reasons. We have a lot of regulations in place. The stream channel that I use now, um, when I do any sort of events with people, is invite only. Like, it's not something that's
You're
publicly available.
okay,
So
right?
I learned that lesson the hard way of not being in a voice chat that's not 100% locked down and controlled by me. So that makes it really hard to do group events because it's not just something where people can duck in and duck out. I got to manually approve everybody. I got to manually pull everybody into the voice chat. It's not easy for me to participate in community events because I have to be so protective of my space, because I am public on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok right now, right? And these locations, which is where I generate my income, have rules and regulations against hate speech, hate crimes, those types of words, and those types of that type of thing,
Take the
those types
time
of
you
things being
need.
said. And so I can't run the risk of having that kind of stuff come out on my channels, because that can ruin my livelihood. You can get me banned. You know what I mean? Like, so there is another aspect of why I don't do a lot of community driven stuff, because it's just not worth the risk. So for me, that's why I mostly stick to single player RPGs. And even when I play live service multiplayer games, I mostly play them as single player. Um, so that's the long answer. That's a great YouTube video as well. 103 end. Do you play
You
with
tired?
your community?
I know I am. Trying to, anyway. Look, I'll be honest with you. We get a little help from some other wealthier folks in the city, but it's barely enough. It takes credits to provide for those in need, and I'm hoping you'll be willing to contribute. If you can spare a few credits, it'll do a lot of good.
Here you go.
Thank you. I don't know if you believe in karma, but I do. I think you just earned yourself some.
Right. How would I know what Todd Howard plays? Do I look like Todd Howard's wife?
If you're serious, I'm drowning in work. Philbone Agricultural Systems feeds basically everyone in the stretch. Bless the Philbone brothers. But their latest in
I also don't know
two-week
what music he
shipment is
listens to.
late.
I don't know what
I'm not
vehicle he
worried
drives. I
yet,
don't know what his favorite
getting
food
there.
is.
Could you ask Sarah Philbone
It's really
what the
weird how
holdup
people
is?
think I have some sort
Very
of personal
politely.
relationship with Todd Howard because I went to Bethesda. I'm like, they invite people all the time to do stuff. Like, they are a big company who have done lots and lots and lots of stuff with lots and lots of. I am a small fish.
This is a huge help. If there's anything you can do to speed up the wheat delivery, please do it. I'll have more work for you when you get back.
Just one quiet day. Not too much to ask for.
One quiet day. Best part of being me is the quiet days, baby.
Capacity?
Outside the wall, things get dicey. Ashta are no joke. Aim for us.
Weston
Man,
needs to get his
that
brother
espresso
focused on
machine
food
looks
production
good.
instead of wasting time brewing beer.
I don't
If
know,
other
man.
things,
Beer's pretty
we
awesome.
wouldn't have this problem. If you're here for Weston, he's underfoot somewhere, either here or at the factory. But please, if it's about that brewing nonsense, kindly leave. They don't need any more encouragement.
Strange way to say hello.
Oh, sorry. My nerves are frayed. So many people coming and going for the company.
Gray's like, why did I push the main
Weston,
story?
That's my husband. Well, he's never been what I'd call a dreamer or a visionary. He's a practical man, good with ledgers and numbers. His
No,
brother
I am not
Henry's the
having
creative
lunch
one,
on Todd's space
but
yet.
he seems to have lost interest in growing
Also,
the
I'm really
company.
busy, so.
And now all he wants to do is brew beer. Philburn Agricultural Systems could provide the whole of the settled systems with food, not just Aquila City. Seems those two are content to think small.
Woo! People have a right to lead their life the way they want.
I mean, you're right, of course. But with a little more hard work, so much good can be done. Well, you didn't come here to hear me natter on. Anything else?
I'm actually here about the IntelliWheat shipment.
I know, we're late. It's been this whole frustrating episode. Short version. the
Many
farming
people do.
equipment outside the walls
Starfield
needs
is
to
a
be
fun
manually
game. Go forth
rebooted.
and play.
But the guards aren't going to be able to send people to fix it for days. We're committed to helping the unfortunates on the stretch, but the Ashta are just too dangerous for us to send someone.
Well, if it's a simple reboot, I can handle
You
it.
would do that? If you get it rebooted, I'll get the harvest going ASAP. We can get the wheat to Amira quick. I'll talk with my husband, but I'm sure we could arrange payment. You'd be helping our business too, after all.
Got you covered.
Just be careful. Ashta are very dangerous.
The Ashta are gonna die. We're gonna slaughter some Ashta for their hides. Oh no! I'm not getting up on top of that apparently. Oh, I made it. Oh, and I fell. Wishful thinking. All right.
Should we warn him about the Ashta? We got a big old sign.
Now we can use this gun for a while.
Looks like things are getting interesting.
I'm gonna go around and get all this wheat. Those nutrients are totally worth it for crafting. That's it for the moment. Ships are expensive for sure. What's up, Voodoo? I think we're in the clear. It never gets old. Oh, can I not go down any further? We're hitting the terrain. That's unfortunate. I'd love to go down about another meter with the camera, but we got a weird terrain hit because I'm standing like on the bottom of a furrow. Dang, he doesn't own his own yacht. It's not as impressive as a shot as I wanted it to be. I love those gloves, man. I just love this whole outfit. I'm really, really stoked with the look of my character so far. I'm gonna be wearing that for a long time.
Mind the danger sign. Ashta will tear you apart if you go wandering outside.
If you say so. No, please not me. Who's yelling and why are you yelling? Okay, Midtown Minerals, I should probably mark that place as well. I want to hop in there and buy some goodies later. Physical edition just showed up for my collection, says Amscon. Nice. Congratulations. What? Hang on. What book?
This is insane!
What? Ah, let's not get sidetracked. Stop! Don't get sidetracked. Do the book thing later.
I wish people could be fixed.
He wishes people could be fixed as easily as robots. Buddy, speak into the choir.
It's the simple things
Mr.
that bring
King.
joy.
Here's your IntelliWheat.
That is good news. What was the holdup anyway?
Had to fight off a pack of Ashta.
Oh dear Lord. Please, you have to know I had no idea. Don't take any risks like that again, please. The Law House is a mission of mercy. I don't want anyone to be hurt on our account. I hate to ask it, but this next errand should be safe. Easy.
Safe and easy.
Everything runs on charity. And our benefactors, though kind, I think sometimes...
Did I see the VA for Marira
Well,
stream
they're
Starfield
sick of
yesterday? I
seeing
did
me.
not.
A new face may ease up the purse strings, or at least save me some errands.
Who do you want me to talk to?
So, the mayor, Elias Cartwright, has always been generous to us, but it's been a while since he's donated. Raisha Lands is a huge benefactor. Laredo Firearms has been vital for us. Both of those are routine, more polite reminders, really. The last is a long shot, probably futile, but the Trade Authority is incredibly wealthy, and they have never ever donated to us. If you could convince Duncan...
I
Lynch
have
to give
never
us
been able to
anything,
convince him to
heck, a
give.
single credit even, I'd consider it a victory.
All right. Do my best.
You are a breath of fresh air.
I am.
Once you're done with that, come back to me. If you ever are down on your luck, our door is always...
I am.
Keep
I
it moving.
am a breath of fresh air. I would have to think about that for some more to come up with that. Oh! Somebody just claimed a Renfail rant.
I spent a lot of my misspent youth in Aggies. Watch your back. And your wallet.
Watch your back and your wallet.
Over there.
Well, we're gonna have to get to a picturesque place for me to redeem the Renfail rant. Let me get somewhere where I can get a view of the space for it. Oh, bastard. My boost pack's not good enough to get me up there. Ah! Ow! I'm hitting. There's like a collider there. Why aren't there sentient aliens? You can go watch our video from earlier this week on the lore of Starfield and why there are no sentient aliens.
Well, I can go for some
No one
chunks.
owes you any answers above and beyond what the writers of the game have already put down. If you don't know what the lore of the game is because you've never played the game, don't worry, I've got you covered with a deep dive video on why there are no aliens in Starfield and why there likely never will be. Over on YouTube, watch at your leisure. This might be a pretty good vantage point. I think I might want to get a little closer. Get here on the walkway. That's a good old view. And we got a Renfail rant, which you got to check out. There's two videos. One is the lore of Starfield, but the one that we just published a few days ago is Why Are There No Aliens? It literally, that's the title of the video from like 2-3 days ago. Why are there no aliens in Starfield? It's part of the Renfail rant series. Okay. Yeah, I had to read the rant first, Morpheo. Okay, let me put the timestamp on this. So, 6Morpheo over on Twitch just redeemed a Renfail rant for 5,000 channel points. This is an interesting one. Recently, I have seen many people criticizing Bethesda's model of having the creation store, with many people claiming that the mods in the creation store are the equivalent of cut content. So they are requiring people to pay for things that the original developers should have included in their game, with many considering this to be a unethical move, albeit smart financial move. Quote, they are selling us an unfinished product and profiting off of other people's ideas, considering they get a cut of the creations that they sell. That's an interesting one. So, first, let's address the idea of cut content, because this is something that comes up a lot. We saw it with Baldur's Gate 3. Larian Studios got tore left and right because of this supposed cut content that didn't make it into the game. And you get a certain subset of the community who will hyperfixate on that cut content and claim that that is something that would have somehow made the game better or more complete. The same type of people, by the way, are up in arms and have been up in arms for every cycle I can think of about why George Lucas didn't include the sandstorm in Tatooine, or he didn't include Luke Skywalker making his lightsaber, even though that scene exists in film, but it never got put into the final version of Return of the Jedi. There are people who have looked at the cut content that George Lucas left on the editing floor over the years, and they have raged at George Lucas. Why? You should have included it. That's cut content. It would have made this much better. It would have done this, blah, 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 blah. Everyone's a critic until they themselves are the ones who are in that position of being the editor of something. Famously, Peter Jackson, when he was making the Lord of the Rings films, it did not include Tom Bombadil. For some players, or for some readers I should say, not including Tom Bombadil in the finished version of the film was something that made it unwatchable to them. They were just like, this is not actual Tolkien. This is a disgrace. Tolkien's rolling in his grave. He should have included Tom Bombadil. But when you listen to Peter Jackson explain it, he says when you're adapting something and you're looking at what is the story that we're trying to show on the screen, the story is the journey of the hobbits taking the ring to Mount Doom, and that's it. That's the story we want to tell, is that story arc. So anything that is not directly related to the story and something that fits in the screen format of getting the ring to Mount Doom is something we're going to leave off to the side. Now, is Tom Bombadil a really cool character in the Lord of the Rings books? Absolutely. Is he essential to the story of Frodo getting the ring to Mount Doom? Not in any way, shape, or form. If I was the director of Lord of the Rings, I would absolutely leave Tom Bombadil out of the film as well, because he doesn't fit the narrative of the hobbits getting the ring to Mordor. Now, if I was doing a TV series, that's a different thing, because with a TV series, we have a lot more runtime, and we have more room to play around with side stories and side characters like Tom Bombadil. So the concept of cut content goes back way beyond video games. It goes back to films, it goes back to all sorts of different things. Famously, J.R.R. Tolkien left behind notes that his son Christopher Tolkien went on to publish for decades after his father's death. And those notes are full of contradictions because Tolkien himself was constantly tweaking and playing around with things and going over 20, 30, 40 different draft versions to get to the stuff that was eventually published in The Lord of the Rings. And even after The Lord of the Rings was published, J.R.R. Tolkien was notorious for continuing to want to tweak that final version because he was a little bit of an anal retentive perfectionist. Rightfully so, it's his creation. George Lucas had the same thing, where George Lucas continued to tweak his final versions of the films up until the point that he sold it off to Disney. He came out with the THX editions. He came out with the special editions. He went back and retconned things with the prequel series. Like, he was notorious for playing around with his creation up until he stopped working with that creation. Stephen King does this all the time. If you've ever watched the evolution of the Gunslinger, the Dark Tower series, he has gone, like, that series started in like the 70s, and he has worked on that series for 40, 50 years now, however long it's been. And that series has continually evolved, and he has retconned, and he has gone back and taken cut scenes and old short stories. George R.R. Martin does the same thing with all of his Wheel of Time stuff. So the idea of cut content being repurposed into other things is not new, or people being upset about cut content. That's not new. Second part of that is addressing the people who claim that, because I see this one a lot. I see people who claim that the modders are the people who save Bethesda games. Like, Bethesda games are trash. The only things that make them worth playing are the mods, which is fundamentally untrue. The vanilla experience is something that the vast majority of people prefer. All of these Bethesda games. Most people, the vast majority of people, prefer the vanilla experiences. Most people play a Bethesda game and they might play it 2 or 3, 4 times. They might come back and play it over the years multiple times, but they are not necessarily always going in and diving into the mods. My brother's a great example of this. My brother loves Skyrim. He's played it off and on multiple times over the years. Doesn't give a shit about mods. He'll never get a shit about mods. I'm another example of that. I have played Bethesda games for many, many years. I have never given a shit about mods, and only recently have I gotten into mods because of the influence of my friend Babylonia Rising. Babylonia, through watching him enjoy the creative aspects of the modding scene, I have grown to have an appreciation for modding to the point where I, for the very first time, installed a mod in one of my games, which was in October when I started and tried out the Watchtower mod for Starfield. Now, when you listen to Babylonia Rising talk about it, I think he's a good sounding horn for the modding community. We have other people in our chat from time to time, like Thorgan and Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea makes mods, as an example. The modding community is, and these are Bubbles' words, not mine, it's like Legos, right? You're buying the base Lego set It's complete, it works, it's everything it needs to be, but then when you're done with that Lego set, you can pull it apart and make something different with those Lego pieces. Or you can take pieces from other Lego sets and add them to your Lego set. And this creates the subset of people who play Bethesda games, which are the people who love mods and the modding community. That is a whole nother audience, and this is something that Bethesda has cultivated over time. And something that they have evolved is the creator program, which allows people who would normally just create mods for fun in their spare time. It now allows those people to make mods that can eventually get to the point where they can receive official support from Bethesda, and they can get into the verified creators program, where they are then allowed to sell their mods and earn an income. And there are teams like King Ath Creations. Those guys, I watched a really awesome presentation when I was at Bethesda's headquarters in early March, showing how those guys went from one guy to a team of 11 people. As of the presentation that I saw, they have 11 full-time employees, and they work full-time on creating creations for the verified creator program for the various games that they play. So the idea, this is where I get to push back on the whole idea that Bethesda is stealing from the modding community, because that's part of the Renfail rant, right? Profiting off of other people's ideas. If you're a verified creator and your idea is good enough and you hype it up enough and you market it and you go out there and bust your ass and sell it to the world, you can become a full-time content creator in the creation store through the verified creator program. You got to hustle, but you could do it. King Ath Creations is a perfect example of that, growing from one man to a team of 11 people doing this full time over the course of many different games. Fallout 4, Skyrim, Starfield, so on and so forth. I can also say that they do have forthcoming creations coming out for all of our favorite Bethesda games this year, so stay tuned for that. So the Creations Store is really interesting because in a lot of other games, whether it's Cyberpunk 2077, like Baldur's Gate 3, you can go out and create mods. Many games allow mods, but not all companies allow the people who make the mods to also go out and earn profit, because there are a lot of complications related to IP law, copyright law, trademark infringement. All those things can come into play when it comes to earning money from things that aren't your own creation. And Bethesda has opened up the doors to the modding community and this creation community and said, you can come play in our sandbox and you can play with our Lego sets and you can build anything you want with our Lego sets. And you can even sell those Lego sets if you want to. If you can, you have to earn your way up to the verified creator program. Once you get to that point, you can then earn a full-time living making creations for Bethesda games, if that's something you want to do. It's also a great backdoor for some people who want to get into full-time game development. You start off creating mods. You start off learning how to hack the code, how to work within the game engine, how to work and do world building and script creation and asset creation. These are all useful tools if you want to then go off and work in actual game development as a game dev, whether it's for Bethesda or another company. So I think that it is a bad faith argument when people claim that mods are only there to fix the broken games because the games were never broken to begin with, and B, I think it's a bad faith argument when people claim that Bethesda is somehow taking advantage of these people when these people wouldn't, if it weren't for the creation program itself, like groups like King Ath Creations would not be able to make full-time revenue making creations and mods for the games that they love. So I think it generally, when people speak bad about the creation program, I think it speaks from a place of ignorance about what is actually going on, and they don't understand the give and take that's going on. It is a symbiotic relationship for sure. It is Bethesda's creation. They deserve to get a cut of that pie, but I think it's extremely generous for them to let other people play in that sandbox. Another example of this is George Lucas letting people play in his sandbox and create the books that we came to know as the extended universe in the 90s. Or people who went out and made video games based on Star Wars. Or people who went out and made comic books based on Star Wars. Or people who went out and made all of these other things, the tabletop games and all these other things that George Lucas himself did not directly write. He allowed those people to come in and play in his sandbox, to create things that were in his sandbox. He, as the creator of that IP, took a chunk of that pie because it's his IP, but he was gracious enough to allow people to play around with that. Not all creators are going to do that. Disney sure as shit doesn't like to let people play in their sandbox. It's a little different these days. So there's nothing wrong with a creator wanting to let people come in and play around in the sandbox. You can come up with some pretty amazing things, but there's also nothing wrong with a creator deciding that they want to hold things. I'm the perfect example of someone who I do not have any desire to let other people play around in the worlds that I've created. I'm very much these are my IPs. I'm not letting other people play with those. I might sell the rights to some of my stuff to, if someone wants to make a TV show or if someone wants to make a film, but I'm not going to sell those rights unless I'm involved in some way as like a creative consultant or, have creative control in some way, shape, or form over the final, version of the script or things of that nature. Like, I have no desire to just sell my rights willy-nilly and let people do what they want with my stuff. Not everyone's like that. So I personally think that the creation store is an amazing thing. We have many verified creators who are making full-time livings playing around in their favorite sandboxes, which are Bethesda games. Just like we saw people in the past who played around in George Lucas's world and got to make lots of cool Star Wars content. And I think that that's a really cool thing. And for people who love Bethesda games, that's what that creation store is there for. I have no idea what game this is. I'm sorry, I can't be bothered to do things like look at the title or the category that it's being streamed in. Way too lazy to do that kind of stuff. I do need to go check on all the animals really quick, everybody. Because I'm home alone and I hear cats crying outside. So we're going to take a quick break while I run around the house and make sure that all the animals are okay. If my internet cuts out and I randomly disappear, I will be back as quickly as possible. I live in the boonies. It happens sometimes. All right. Let me go check a couple things as we get going here. What's up, Studman? A world without Thrawn, oh noes. I know, right? Like, if it weren't for George Lucas allowing people to work within his universe, we wouldn't have Thrawn or other characters. Dribrum says StarCraft was originally designed as a Star Wars game, but was denied by Lucas. That's interesting. I never knew that. All right. Bethesda did make a post about an hour ago. We are aware of some reported PS5 crashing issues, have narrowed them down to a small number of causes. Addressing these in a hotfix, which we're aiming to release this week. We'll keep you posted. That's cool. Can't wait to see more. Wait, is tomorrow the 14th already? Oh shit, Hades 2 and Replaced are tomorrow. Okay, I probably need to turn on my Xbox and see if either one of those are preloading. Hold that thought, guys. We're gonna switch my Xbox on for a couple of minutes here. And we're gonna go make sure that I've got both of those preloading. And then we're gonna come back. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hades 2 coming soon. Let's see what we got preloading here. I don't know if Replaced had a preload. Let me go to Game Pass. Oh, there's a first look at Metro coming up later this week. I've never played the Metro games. Game Pass coming to Game Pass. Don't care about Thumbprint. Replace! Yes, we want this. Add to play later. Thank you very much. So Hades is already coming tomorrow. So it sounds like I don't think there's any preload for those. But we should be getting those tomorrow at some point. Usually the Game Pass releases happen at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't care about updating any of those games right now. So we will check those later. I know I've got an icon for Forza 2, but not for Replaced. So I'll just check tomorrow morning. I may have to manually get Replaced downloading, but we will check that tomorrow morning. Definitely going to be playing those tomorrow afternoon. So as everyone knows, we've been going hard and heavy on Starfield. Starting tomorrow, I will only be doing Starfield in the afternoons. Excuse me, Starfield in the morning. Blah, blah, blah. Let me rephrase that. I will only be doing Starfield in the morning sessions. The afternoon sessions, we're going to be splitting between Replaced and Hades 2. I'm definitely doing a full clear of Replaced. I am not sure if I'll do a full clear of Hades 2. I'll do some, a little bit of Hades 2 here and there, but the first game wasn't like an, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing ever type experience for me. So I'm just going to be jumping in and being like, yeah, I'd like to check out Hades 2, see if I like it more than the first one. But Replaced, when I played the demo, Replaced was like, oh yeah, we're doing this all the way through. This is fucking awesome. So that one will be a full clear for sure. So tomorrow afternoon we will be jumping into Replaced. Tomorrow morning will be.
Want to steer clear of the stretch. Lots
Starfield.
of
So we had to
crime
clean up
over
the
there.
graffiti on the range again. Why don't we just close it
I'm
down?
pleased you chose to visit us
It's not
today.
like it gets much use.
Come back in. I need someplace to put the prototypes through their paces. It stays.
But you know, stretch trash will come back and
Stretch trash.
or worse.
Let them. A few beer bottles and graffiti is the least we owe them.
You meet all sorts
Yes,
in
Miss
Aquila
Banks.
City.
Alright, should be able to talk to them now.
I think you'll find that we carry fine weapons of all kinds here.
I'm here for other donations for Low House.
Oh. So Amira has some help? Good. She's going to work herself into an early grave if she's not careful. Laredo Firearms prides itself in helping out all the residents of Aquila City. I'll send Justin over to deliver our monthly donation.
The stretch is a security issue. If we fund the Low House more, it helps us all.
Well, if the Rangers think the Low House needs more help, I'll tell Amira that Laredo is ready to help the community more. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, and I have never seen that additional option because I'm a ranger. That is badass.
Let's get you set up.
Do I have anything I want to sell? Yes. Just that. All right.
Aquila's one of the...
That's my concern, Joe, is that that's why I've never played the original Metro games, because there's no difficulty mode, and I'm concerned that my casual nature is not suited to that. And Deep Silver, you know, they produce some really good games, like they published, you know, with Kingdom Come Deliverance. But I'm a little nervous that Metro is not going to be a game that I'm going to be able to play. But I'm thinking it's going to be a Game Pass game. If it is a Game Pass game, I'm going to try it out just to see. But yeah. I am going to check out if I use a Paramore here.
Aquila City is bustling, one of the busiest trade authority branches in the galaxy. Do you have
No
business
one's
with
gonna
the
believe me if I tell them you could do that.
Heard to ask for donations for the Low House.
The Trade Authority has a firm policy of not getting involved in internal matters. We're neutral in all affairs of the governments of the Freestar Collective and the United Colonies.
Dylan says the one thing I don't like about this game is how you were instantly made leader of Constellation. Tell us you haven't played the game without telling us you haven't played the game, because you are never made the leader of Constellation. That is an absolute not true statement. Dun, 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 dun. Helping this stretch could improve your image.
You can't be... It's a matter of precedent. If we give even a little, we open ourselves up for endless rounds of begging. No, not one credit. Sorry.
All right, I wasted a Paramore on that, so we're gonna go back and load. That's why I'd used it. That's why I quick saved. Someone wants to know if this game is worth $50. I love Bethesda, but I hear bad things about the game. No, it's not worth $50. Nope. If you claim you love Bethesda, but you can't make up your own mind about whether or not $50 is worth spending on a game that can give you hundreds of hours of entertainment, then no, it's not worth it. You should go play Fortnite or Call of Duty or other free-to-play games.
Partner with local governments to find. Do you have business with the Trade Authority?
Yeah, Pixel Suplex, and yes, Dribrom. Or not Dribrom. Who said that? Hang on. Amscon says you can't become the leader of any faction in Starfield. Yeah. So, yeah, the fact that that person is claiming that you could become the leader of Constellation, they've never played the game. Yeah, it's a bullshit statement, because you can't become the leader of any of the factions in this game. So, Tell us you haven't played the game without tell us you haven't played the game, you fucking troll. Get out of here. Get back to Reddit.
The Trade Authority has a firm policy of not getting involved in internal
Yeah,
matters.
just go play Morrowind if
We're
you
neutral
prefer.
in all
There you go.
affairs of the governments of the Freestar Collective and the United Colonies.
No, I am not going to be reviewing individual episodes of Darth Maul. I don't know that I'm going to be doing individual episodes of any shows anymore. I have done that for the past 4 years, but I've seen that statistically speaking, the reviews when I do like week by week episodes of a show, those videos don't get any views, and it's just not worth my time to do them anymore because I make way more money doing other things. I will talk about the shows that I'm enjoying when I watch them with Chris, but I don't know that I'm going to do any more like episode for episode things. Like I just talked about Maul, that's good. I still need to do the Dunk and Egg one, which I haven't done yet. I keep forgetting about it, to be honest with you. But it's like I make more and more money doing gaming stuff now, and so it's like I like to watch shows with my wife, but it's also like, you know, it's a time is money thing for me, and I don't really make any money doing those videos, so...
The Trade Authority's image is doing quite well already. Thank you very much. I'm done discussing this matter. If you ever need to deal with the Trade Authority,
I don't care if you've been watching my videos for a long time or not, Dylan. You made a statement that is factually incorrect, and I called you out on it. So, one human being to another. If you're gonna make a statement, don't make a false statement, because I don't care if you're my brother or my wife. If you make a false statement, I will call you out on that shit. Like, you said, the thing I don't like about Constellation is you could become, you're instantly promoted to leader. And everyone in our chat on YouTube and Twitch and Kick is like, wait, what? You can't become a leader of any of the factions. So you made a false statement. I called you out for making a false statement. And now you're acting all butthurt and offended. Don't be. Don't take it so personal. Like...
Welcome to Aquila City's Trade Authority.
You literally said, I don't like this game. The only thing I don't like about the game is that you're instantly made leadership of Constellation. And I was like, no, you don't. That's just not true. Not true at all. And then you made a follow-up statement that said, I played 15 hours and Barrett instantly gives you his ship and they treat you like you're in charge. No, they don't treat you like you're in charge. There are story reasons why Barrett gives you his ship. When you show up at Constellation, the entire Constellation group doubts who you are and questions why the fuck did Barrett give you his ship, including Walter making this huge rant about how I can't believe he just gave our ship to this guy. I can't believe he didn't just take the ship and run off. Like, Sarah and Walter literally are like dogging you the moment you show up at Constellation at the lodge without Barrett. So, like, no, that didn't happen. They don't treat you like you're in charge at all. I like the game. No, it doesn't sound to me like you like the game. It sounds to me like you haven't played the game. Or if you did, you were so high that you didn't pay attention to what was going on. Because none of what you wrote in TikTok chat actually happens in the game. Other than you do get the ship very early on. And there is a story reason why Barrett gives you the ship. And Vasco is the one who escorts you. And along the way, what is it? Code Indigo or whatever it is? And everybody jokes, like, what is Code Indigo? Oh, he found another one. And then you show up and, like, the ship's technician is like, oh, Grass Vasco's got another one of these recruits. They do not treat you like you're in charge. They treat you like an outsider. Including when you show up and get Andreja and she makes fun of you for being a lapdog. She's like, oh, you're just doing what they sent you out to do. Just an obedient little puppy. Right, apparently you're just supposed to spam through the dialogue and then complain that you don't understand everything. Studman says, damn, that's news to me. I didn't realize we were leaders of Constellation. Everybody needs to bow down to me now. Makes me want to find out if I can just nick the ship. I don't think you can just nick the ship because it won't let you fly anywhere. Like, you literally can't fly anywhere until you're given permission, because Vasco is, like, in charge of the... Like, you're allowed to... Like, Vasco takes you through the mission, you go to the base, then you go to Constellation, then you get Sarah. You go with Sarah to do that mission, and only after you're a full-fledged member of the Constellation do you get access to the ship to just fly wherever you want. Like... Yeah, they literally call you Rockbreaker and Dusty. Because you're just a miner. You're just a schmuck.
Hello there. So good to see you.
My character needs a raise if I'm the leader of Constellation, says Arcane. Yeah, Susanok, I found her yesterday and she gave me shit for just doing what everyone else sent me out to do. She's like, oh, you just follow everybody else's orders. Itzicone says, if you didn't get the ship right away, how would this game even work, right? You also get a ship right away at the beginning of, like, Star Wars Outlaws, Mass Effect, Knights of the Old Republic, but you're not the leader of any of those organizations either. Neil says it sounds to me like the guy just mashed and skipped his way through the conversation and only got a quote out of it. Rockford says it's way more fun to throw shade at Starfield. That's pretty much, yeah. You're treated as the nobody you are when you start the game. Correct. I already played Mass Effect. I did the entire Mass Effect series January of 2025. Which was about a year and like 15 months ago, something like that, 14, 15 months ago. I did all 4 of the Mass Effect games. They're actually, the playlist is still pinned on the front of my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel and scroll down, there's all the like playlists, and one of the playlists is the Mass Effect playthrough that I did. So you can go watch me play all 4 of the playlists, all 4 of those Mass Effect games, if you like to. Mom, Todd Howard lied again and said we were supposed to be leaders of Constellation, but the mean streamer in his community said otherwise and lied as well. Mom, you need to hold me. I need a hug. Goddamn Studman. Ugh. Nix says someone used your latest rant video. I lost that in the chat somewhere. Yeah, people use my stuff. Recently, people have been using my stuff all over the place. That particular video has gone viral everywhere. So, yeah, that one on the loading screens has gone viral on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So people are cutting it and clipping it and doing all sorts of stuff with it all over the place. Go for it. It's more publicity for me. It's called I Make Money. They bring me more views. We just did a big update for the channel members yesterday on YouTube about how March was our second biggest month financially, and technically our biggest month ever if you look at like followers and like the trip that we took and everything else. And April is already shaping up to be, if this month holds true, knock on wood, it's gonna start to go down a little bit because we're past the bubble of Starfield launch, and we're gonna be playing other games starting tomorrow, which means the traffic will go down quite a bit. But I am on track at the moment for April to be my biggest financial and growth in numbers month in the whole time I've been doing this. And I'm in my 5th year. Like, free publicity from all the angry little incels who don't like... bring it on. Bring it on. I will take every single bit of traffic they want to throw my way. You can take all my videos, clip them, do whatever you want. It just makes me famous. Like, I am literally here playing this game and having a great time, and they're not. Like, They're miserable. I'm not. I'm having fun. They're not. Who's winning in this situation? Me. I'm getting paid to do what I love every single day, and they are out there doing my busy work for me. Like, they're clip farming me and giving me shitloads of free traffic. Give me more, please. I would love for every single piece of content I create to be able to go viral like that and bring me in free traffic. It's awesome. So yeah, I have no problems with people clip farming me. What are they gonna do? Make fun of me for my bald head and my bald forehead and my fake wife? Like, I literally have a merch store that is full of merch. Thanks for the free traffic. Thanks for the free engagement. Troll tears fuel my retirement. My wife's boyfriend bought me this shirt. My wife's a paid actress. Like, anything you've said, I've heard before, and I've monetized it. So every single time I have trolls, I literally monetize that shit. So bring it. Bring the action. Money, money, money. It makes me money. Having fun being a paid shill, that's allowed? But I thought Starfield was dead. Oblivion is a great game, correct. Bear Eel says I might play Mass Effect Andromeda after this Starfield gameplay. Andromeda is my favorite Mass Effect game. Love it. The combat is so good. NJ Drive 5165. Does anyone buy the same game on more than one console? I do. I own this game on more than one console. I have the Ultimate Edition, the Premium Edition on the Xbox. I have the Premium Edition on PS5. I also own... Hang on, I'm in the wrong window right now. I also have Destiny 2 on Xbox and PC. I also have Fallout 4 on the Xbox and PC. I also have Elder Scrolls Online on the Xbox and PC. Where's my... It's over here. Hold on. There's more. Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, I think I own on both platforms. Greedfall... No, hang on. My collection. I gotta go down here. Red Dead Redemption 2, Xbox and PlayStation. New World Eternum, I own on the PC and the PS5. RIP New World Eternum. Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla, Xbox and PC. Mass Effect Andromeda, Xbox and PS5 and PC. Matter of fact, all the Xbox... Oh, and the Xbox Legendary Edition, I own it on the Xbox and the PlayStation. Lego Star Wars Saga. I know I played it on Xbox as well, so technically I own that on both platforms. Pathfinder the Ratchet of the Righteous, PlayStation, PC, Xbox. Anthem, PC and... Xbox and PlayStation. Keep going here. Cyberpunk, Xbox and PlayStation. I own the base game on the PlayStation, and I own the Ultimate Edition on the Xbox. What else? Star Trek Online, I've played on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. These ones I only own on the PlayStation. Star Wars Squadrons, I own on the PlayStation and the Xbox. Path of Exile 2, I have the beta on both the PlayStation and the Xbox. I could go on. Like, I could keep going. I own many of the games that I own on multiple platforms. Why not?
Good to meet you.
Yeah, exactly, Garrett.
Name's
Like, it's like
Elias
there's different perks.
I'm the mayor of
There's
Aquila
different.
City.
Sometimes you get different
Now,
deals
I've got
for
a memory
buying
for
the games on
faces,
different
and I can't say I've
platforms.
seen yours around here before. I make it a point to
You know, there's
introduce
all these different
myself
reasons
everyone
to
who passes
buy them on the
through our
different
fine
platforms.
city.
At least
As the
for me.
founder himself once said, there's no substitute for a warm welcome and a friendly smile.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
You're more than welcome. As I'm sure you know, us folk in the Freestar Collective put great stock in human.
Oh yeah, for
kindness
sure, Joe,
and
California.
generosity
Like,
of spirit.
I think the
I'd like to
story of
think
the
that's what
original Mass
sets
Effect
us
trilogy is
apart from
better
our
than
neighbors in the
Andromeda,
United
but I have
Colonies.
Andromeda as my favorite
We
of the whole
don't
series
rely on
because I love the
machines
combat,
or
the movement,
bureaucracy.
the Mako,
We rely
the
on
graphics.
each
All of
other.
that was so much
I
better
won't pry about what brought you
than the
here.
first game.
That's
And
all
the
of your
what is it called, the
business and
Apex
none of
system,
mine.
which was like the send
However,
your.
I'd be more than happy to give you the scoop about
It was
the
like the
core
co-op stuff,
and
but you could do it
midterm.
so. But like you're sending out your guys on missions from the ship. Like, I really like Mass Effect Andromeda a lot. What's up, Thorgan? I'm here to ask for donations for the Low
What day is
House.
it? Oh, shoot. I forgot. I'll send over my usual monthly donation to Amira. She truly is a wonder. And with the building project her and Mr. Tate are planning, there may be a day when the stretch is a distant memory.
Well, it's the duty of everyone in the Freestar Collective to help each other out.
You're a settler. You were right. It's what sets us apart from the UC. You know our family's been doing well. We can afford to help more. Between thwarting bank robberies and helping the stretch, you have the city's thanks. Truly.
I am an upstanding citizen. I've seen so much. I'm not sure if I put the Freestar Collective first anymore.
What? Don't tell me you've been sold on the United Colonies propaganda. Over there, you live under the boot. But on Aquila City and the rest of the collective, you make your own destiny. Just look at yourself and what you've accomplished.
The more I've learned, the more I think neither side is really right.
You really believe that? The Freestar Collective isn't like List, that sets you up and leaves you to dry. We're independent-minded people that look out for each other and our society. Don't turn away from your home, from your roots. But
that's another good point, Garrett, because especially with a lot of the older games, they don't necessarily have cross-platform presentation. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's an interesting... I didn't realize that you could get rid of the trait by having a conversation with someone. That definitely don't want to do that. So a lot of the older titles that we play don't necessarily have cross-play or cross-play is what I meant to say, not cross-progression. So if I want to play with family members, I need to own it on that platform, which is another great way, you know, it's another reason why I like having all the platforms. The only way that I don't have is a Switch, because I don't really play a lot of games on the Nintendo, but my brother and I have been talking about it because we do play on Sunday nights. So we have been, his kids are, like, I think, like, my niece is 7 and my nephew's like 12. If you follow the history of my channel, I think for the past 4, maybe 5 years, we have been playing with my nephew. We started off playing Minecraft. Well, actually, we started off playing Lord of the Rings Online and EverQuest 2 when he was really little, like, maybe. That was before I started streaming. We would play EverQuest 2, Lord of the Rings Online with him. And he would, like, we would set him up with, like, on the EverQuest 2, we'd set him up with, like, a mercenary. And he would just go harvest stuff for us while we were off adventuring. And he'd be, like, off on the beach, like, gathering ore for us. But he was, like, 5. You know, he's 5 years old, 6 years old or whatever. He was our first beta tester for our point-and-click adventure game. Everything we built, we ran it through my... He was like 7 at the time, right? Whatever, right? So he would beta test, or alpha test, I should say, all of our point-and-click adventure game stuff. He was the first person who got to play everything. And then he loved Minecraft. Like, he was obsessed with Minecraft. And he like spent his allowance money on a Minecraft book, and he read it front to back, cover to cover. Matter of fact, early in my TikTok, when I first started doing TikTok, there are clips of where I would clip him. We'd be playing Minecraft, and he would just come up with this random fact, and he would just spit it out, and he'd be like, "This kid knows everything about Minecraft," and he's like, 8 or 9 years old. So there's a lot of Minecraft videos on my channel where my brother and I have played Minecraft with him. And then his sister got old enough to start joining us in Minecraft. But Minecraft really wasn't her favorite thing, and we kind of then we went off and played the Dungeons and Dragons module for Minecraft, which was a lot of fun. And then we sort of took a break because they moved to a new ranch. I went and helped them move in 2024, and then we kind of took a break from our family gaming stuff because they were really busy. And then we circled back around about 6 months ago and started playing Lord of the Rings Online on Sunday nights. So all of my family sessions are up on YouTube in playlists. I've also played with my brother and my sister-in-law. We played Grounded together. We played Sea of Thieves, but specifically we did the Pirates of the Caribbean storyline, and we did the Monkey Island storylines, which were a lot of fun to do those together. So I try to, we try to play a lot together with the family. And one of the things we've been talking about is whether or not I might get a Switch, because the kids all have a, what is it, Switch Lite, I think maybe it's what it's called. But we were talking about this. If you watched, I think it was in last night's session of Lord of the Rings Online. We were talking about how or it might have been last week's session, but my niece in particular really struggles with mouse and keyboard because she is a controller player, because the Switch is her thing, so she's used to controller. I prefer controller. We settled on Lord of the Rings Online because it was an easy game for the whole family to play because everyone knows Lord of the Rings. And the kids are just starting, they had just watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy for the first time with the family, watched the Hobbit films. My nephew had already read the books. My niece was, starting to read the Hobbit. And so it was like, we're going to go out and just enjoy Lord of the Rings as a family, which is why we settled on that game. But it is a clunky 20-year-old game that is not the easiest thing to play because it's mouse and keyboard only. So we've been talking about other things that we could do as a family unit. Some of those things are games that we could play with controllers independent of platform. So like I looked at Enshrouded and I was like, when Enshrouded comes to its launch state, if that's something that they think they would want to do, I would happily buy everybody copies of Enshrouded and we would go play Enshrouded as a family, because I think that's a great game. It's got lots of crafting in it, survival elements, the building, lots of RPG elements. That could be fun. We've looked at Hightail, which is Minecraft-like, but with better graphics, but they don't have controller support yet for that. Yeah, the D&D Minecraft was awesome, Neil. 100%. It was a really great DLC. I don't remember where I was going with that point. We were talking about something, and my brain went off on a tangent.
Got a friend mining on Sidonia.
I'm scrolling through chat now. Why did I start talking about that? I don't remember why. Somebody said the Switch 2 makes a great paperwork. What did you buy it for if you're not going to use it and play it? Anyway, the Switch, I think that was maybe why I was bringing that up. It's because I've debated getting a Switch. I don't necessarily play a lot of Nintendo games, but in terms of looking at things that I could potentially play with the family, that's something that has come up in conversation about whether I get a Switch 2 just to do fun stuff together with my family. Because that's going to be something we just continue to do, is our family sessions. But what are we playing next? I don't know. Right now it's Lord of the Rings Online. Unfortunately, Tales of the Shire is not. Otherwise, we would totally be playing that, because Tales of the Shire is awesome.
I like to believe everyone is capable of empathy and compassion.
We looked at
like
Return to Moria, but it's just too grindy for the kids. It's not something the kids are going to enjoy. Duncan Lynch is an insufferable jerk.
I didn't say that, but
my niece has Tales of the Shire on her PC, and she loves it. She plays it with a controller and has a great time.
For your help with the farm. You more than deserve it.
All right. This should go to the stretch, not me.
Those credits are from the grateful Philbons, not me. And I wouldn't take a single one You've earned it. I have one more thing for you to do.
Sure.
But I hope it's more of a reward. This is part of the Intellowit harvest. I'd like you to deliver it to Simone Jansen and her family. I want you to see the fruits of your labors.
Okay. Deliver Intellowit to Simone.
Ever wonder how the Crimson Fleet seems to be everywhere?
Thank you for saving my husband. Amira said to expect you. This wheat ensures my family won't go to bed hungry. I genuinely don't know what my family would do.
I haven't made it to
Amira.
Anchor Point yet.
And you have no idea.
And it'll
how
probably be a
much it
long time
means.
before I get there. Amy just says help. I'm just here to lend a hand.
Over here in Aquila, it's humbling to see regular people just looking after us. On behalf of my family, of my daughter, bless you.
During the war, we had these things called battle stims. I didn't fight in the war, mind you. I just used them recreationally.
I usually just stick to Aurora, but I'd be willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
What was this one? This was at the bookstore. I actually don't know what I need to do here. I do wish Tales of the Shire was multiplayer, though. That's such a good game. Someone said, thank you for continuing to create video guides for Starfield. Some of the systems are so complex, but I love the challenge. Your guides sure do help. I will probably, I'm trying, I don't, you know, I'll probably get to the point where I've run out of things to do guides about, but we still have quite a few guides that are on my list. So I do try to do one guide every single morning. Beginner's guides. And I think tomorrow's is already in the bag. Tomorrow's is... Shit, what is tomorrow's video? I know I already recorded it because I recorded it earlier today. Oh, how to level up persuasion and speech. Dark Lord Center says, I'm only 500 points from a Renfail rant. Well, make sure my throat is not dry. And we also have a customizing gear thing coming out later today. And then on my list, I've got... I still need to go over the gameplay options, the database. Actually, I think I already did the gameplay options guide, didn't I? Wasn't that this morning's video? If I did, I need to mark that off. No, this morning's was storage space. I don't think I've done that video. So I still have gameplay options, the database guide. We'll eventually do a new outpost building guide. We will do a updated crafting guide for weapon modding and spacesuit modding. We will do an updated guide for research. So there's still, I mean, I've got plenty of guides that are continuing to come out. We may get to a point where I'm not doing them every single day later this month, but we're still on a daily schedule right now from the guides. What level am I? That's a good question. Where do I see my level? I always forget. I'm 25. And I'm like 60 hours in? $48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. I'm almost 57 hours in the game. So we're getting close to 60 hours. We'll be 60 hours by the end of today, probably. Or really close. Laughter is brightest where food is best. How did I get my start? From a history book, believe it or not. The name Barbo is French for barbel, carved like fish, and those who wore the name Barbo on their jackets were fishermen. But unlike my ancestors, I preferred my fish on dry land, cooking over a hot skillet, so I decided to trade in my pole for a pan and my nets for a knife. I've spent my lifetime chasing the near-perfect recipe, and in this book you'll find the fruits of that endeavor. Ocean's Marbu's near-perfect recipes is a kitchen book filled with a variety of dinner entrees popular with both laymen and master chefs alike. The inside of the book has the following handwritten inscription to my friend, Harbison Vyas, the only person in the settled systems who could lay claim to the perfect vindaloo. Oh, vindaloo sounds delicious. I am so hungry. Yeah, Endragon, go over to my YouTube. You're already on my YouTube channel, Endragon. So go into the playlist for the PlayStation 5 playthrough and just look for my reviews.
My husband. I think he would have liked what I've done here. He so loved books. Feel free to read. This is a haven for all that love letters.
Any books you're looking for?
I am a bit of an aficionado of old.
I have no idea if it's
novels.
accurately showing hours
Well,
played.
truth be told,
I have
it's
no
more
clue.
of an obsession. Reading their stories is a revelation, not only for, the pure imagination, but
Pure
the window you get into
imagination.
long-gone historical eras. I'll pay handsomely for any books you find like that. Except Charles Dickens. Definitely not Charles Dickens. Oh, nothing wrong at all. When colonists were forced to leave Earth for good, cargo space was precious, and for some reason everyone thought to bring their Charles Dickens collection. No, I mean he was an amazing writer. His stories are timeless, but what I'd give for a copy of Sense and Sensibility, or the Three Musketeers.
I like shipbuilding
The
and
original
so
Three
do
Musketeers,
you.
mind you, not the dozens of interpretations of it.
Let's go into space and... I lost it. Sorry. I'd have to work on that one more. Any reason you do PS5 over PC? Yeah, because it's a new platform, which means I get to create new guides, which means I get to make more money creating new guides for a new ecosystem and a whole new round of players, because I've already created 2.5 years of guides playing it on the Xbox Series X.
Who doesn't? Omega the Last Days. Huh. I can't say I've heard of it, but this looks fascinating. I hope this suffices. I know what I'm reading tonight.
Dude, I'm going to have to bring... She gave me 2,000 credits for that.
W.E.B. Du Bois, the civil rights activist? He wrote a science fiction novel. I simply must have this. This is real, right? Thank you.
Holy shit, I need to bring more books to her.
War of the Worlds. Need I say more?
I never knew
Here, take
about
my
this.
money.
Like
I almost
2,000
want to
credits a
close up
pop
the
is
shop.
huge. I don't know that I've actively been picking up all the books, but apparently I've picked up some.
I'm sorry. There's nothing you have I don't have or am interested in. Sorry.
All right, so that's fine.
For
We
purchase?
sold some stuff. Oh, I could sell all sorts of stuff here. Survey data. I'm not going to sell any of this stuff. Alright, something about give this book to its original art. I'm pretty sure this is one of the creations that was in the free collection. I've never done this, but I know the name of it was in the free collection when I picked it up. Like the perfect recipe, I think is what it's called.
Harb, I need you to come fix my faucet. It's been leaking for 2 days, and it's driving me nuts.
All right, I'll be there as soon as I'm finished here.
But it's leaking now. I need you to come now.
Do you have cotton in your ears? I said I'd be there when I'm done.
Whatever. Harb, if you're gonna get all pissy about it, I'll find someone else.
There's so much to deal with right now. Leaky roofs, busted pipes. Angry customers. Oh, this goddamn machine. It's not usually this cranky. I bet in a past life it was a crankshaft. Or worse.
And this is one of our favorite voice actors. Well, we all have our days. Sometimes you're a hammer, other times you're a nail.
Lately I've been nothing but nails. Life of the handyman, I guess. Wait, hold on. I think I got it. Let me just tighten this bolt here and... There! Good as new! And my apologies to you for being so irritable.
Space scoundrel. You know what? I should charge me for my time. It's valuable.
Well, so is mine. But not everyone seems to think so. And that's why I get customers barking at me noon and night.
Noon and night.
I must sound so ungrateful. I know I'm lucky to even have work. Let me stop with the complaining and offer you a drink instead. I have some coffee and tea at my workshop, if you'd like some.
Coffee!
Coffee it is. Hope you like it black.
I do
don't
like
have
it
any
black.
cream or sugar. Come.
That's right,
This way.
Metroid. When my wife barks, I'm a
Apologies,
nail.
never mind
That's
saying
right.
that. I swear, it was like that when I got here.
When mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
Welcome to my humble abode. Emphasis on the humble. I don't have a bed, but I do have a kettle. Baby steps.
And he likes to
Anyway,
stand on his countertop.
One coffee coming right up. Here you are. Courtesy of House Harbajan. It's the least I can do for being so cranky.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
That's a relief. I have a temper, and sometimes it's hard
Rick
to know if I'm
Grimes.
losing it with my customers. Oh, it's not that I don't enjoy being a handyman. It's just...
Carl!
I've been
Carl!
thinking about my life a lot lately, and whether I've made the right decisions. What if I went right instead of left, that sort of thing. Where,
Bubble says, I love this quest. I've never
where
done
would I
this
be
one,
now?
Bubbles. You're wondering if you might have been happier.
You see right through me, don't you? I don't know if I'm unhappy, per se. But I'm definitely not satisfied. Anyway, I appreciate you coming here and listening to me vent. If you've got questions for me, I'll do my best to answer them.
I found something that might belong to you.
Oh, that. I forgot I left it there. But if I'm being frank, I'd sooner just throw it in the trash.
Well, that's kind of harsh, given how the inscription is really kind to you.
That's because you don't know the subtext. Ocean wrote that inscription as if she were my friend. In reality, we were more like rivals.
Okay.
You might read what she wrote and think it a kindness, but to me, it's petty. So I left it behind. But, like a bad habit, it keeps coming back to me.
I'm gonna have to go see if there's any more coffee. Actually, you know what? An espresso sounds pretty good right now. Are you sure Ocean meant it that way?
Oh, I'm sure. She always loves to take little digs and act innocent when you question the motives. Normally, I would just laugh it off. I don't know why this time it hurts so much.
Well, being rich and famous isn't all it's cracked up to be. You have a good life here.
I know. It's just I can't help wondering, what if? I was 18 when the colony war started, with everyone off to fight. There was so much to do around here, and people needed help. Cooking fancy meals and becoming a chef just didn't matter anymore. But ever since I got that book, I've been wondering if I've made a mistake. And if so, maybe it's not too late.
It is the same voice actor.
Maybe I can try and be a chef again.
He does lots of Bethesda work. He also shows up in just about every game I play. It's never too late to change, bro. If you want to be a chef, be a chef.
You know what? You're right. I'm not that long in the tooth. I can still make a change. Okay. I've made up my mind. I need to gather some friends and cook a meal. A vindaloo. If it's good and my skills haven't eroded, I'm going to pursue this.
He is the brother in Ghost of Yote, Sergeant. That's what I'm saying. He is a very prolific voice actor.
And the guests.
I'd be willing to help.
Thank you. We'll need 3 things. Vinegar and spices for the vindaloo, drinks, and meat. And as it happens, I know 3 people who can help us. They just happen to be customers of mine.
His name is Noshir Dalal. I've been following him on Twitter for a few years now. He is in all sorts of stuff. Like all sorts of stuff. Outer Worlds 2, Ghost Yote, Mortal Kombat 1, Burned, Freebird, Thresher, DC Dark Legion, Will Trench, Starfield, Shattered Space, this Starfield, Young Jedi Adventures, Batman Cape Crusader, Critical Role, Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, Elder Scrolls Online, Gold Road, Great Leyland Hall. Those are just the last couple of years. Star Wars The Bad Batch, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Candelaria Obscura, Lego Fortnite, Fortnite Chapter 5, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, Pluto, Spider-Man 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. I mean, the guy has one of the most impressive IMDb pages. He is an extremely prolific voice actor. Does great work. He was in Star Wars Jedi Survivor as like the bounty hunter guy that you're teamed up with. Like, yeah, good stuff. Varangian says I ended up completing the Freestar Ranger story and trekking out the Star Eagle. That's a good ship when you get it. Definitely worth it for when you first get it. All right, hang on. I gotta check something here real quick. Where would we get the meat?
Well, the meat should be fresh, and I don't necessarily trust the vendors. I think we should bring in a hunter. Try talking to Shonda Harbison. You'll usually find her at the hitching post. She's kind of a living legend around these parts.
Copy
they call
that.
her Granny Oakley for a reason.
Granny Oakley. Dude, that's awesome. What about vinegar and spices?
I can talk to the kings of the produce and spices. They run the farms here. But the vinegar has to be special ordered. I'd talk to Javier Mejia.
Yeah,
he's the
Jedi Survivor.
Sells a lot of off-world items to the local farmers. Palm vinegar being one of them. And a vindaloo has to have vinegar. It's in the name.
Who do I talk to about the drinks?
Typically, wine doesn't.
God damn, I
pair
really
well
want
with
curry now.
But if we keep the spice subtle, I think it can work. Red wine is probably
Raven
what we
Swift
need.
says, I'm so
Back
bored
on
at work.
Sol, they used to make it with that.
Well, you don't have to be
before
bored
switching
here.
Vinegar. Talk to Anandita Devi. She's a food critic and grew up on Indian food, so she'll make for the perfect guest.
We will happily entertain.
She's usually over at the Stonewood Inn.
All right.
Goodbye.
Here we go. Off to meet some new friends and have a delicious food. Give me 2 seconds. Maul is awesome. ZK Gun says, just finished Clone Wars, watching Maul tonight. So excited as long as Tornado doesn't cut our power. Especially if you're coming hot off of the Clone Wars, watching Maul is going to be chef's kiss because it is the same team doing what they already do. And they kick ass. Maul is so good. I wanted all the episodes. I'm like, why are you only giving me 2? Nope, no lag or anything. I don't have any issues. Playing the game, having fun. We're 60 hours in without any issues. I'll be right back, everybody.
Places like this make you appreciate home.
How's everything with you?
I'm doing great, actually. Thanks for asking. I honestly feel guilty with how perfect everything is.
The friend, he caught some weird alien virus. Wound up in a clinic for months.
We flew up to the star, and we were so close I could feel the heat from the sunbursts. And that's when they said the words, "Will you marry me?"
That is so romantic.
It was absolutely perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better proposal.
What was the name of that guy? The contact for the job?
I've got no idea.
Alright. There was no one home. They came home and then they left again, so I'm not sure where they went. Hey, it's free traffic. No, I'm not. I will absolutely not be making any responses to anybody that has made content around me. Nope. I don't have to, because I don't have to resort to making mock content of other people to survive on the internet. I get paid a full-time living playing games, having fun with my community, playing the games that I want to play, being positive about games. I make a full-time living doing that. So if people like that want to make videos about me, ridiculing me, calling me a shill, saying I'm the reason why companies like Bethesda stagnate. So for those of you who don't understand the context, apparently Luke Stevens made a video about me. This is how you know, we were just talking about this yesterday, all of a sudden I've had a bunch of Starfield content that has gone viral. I had Skyrim stuff that went viral in December. Like, there's bubbles, man. Sometimes you get viral content around things you play. Anyway, apparently Luke Stevens has made a video about me essentially ridiculing me and claiming that I'm one of the reasons why Bethesda Games has been stagnating for many years. This person asked me I should make a video responding to that person. No, I won't. I don't need to. I don't have to make negative content to make a living. I make positive content. We do Renfail rants. Guard, what was your Renfail rant claim? It just says, I got you. I don't know what you're referring to in terms of what Renfail rant you might have just claimed. So anyway, I make positive content and I put it out there on the internet. That's how I make a living. I don't need to tear other people down. I don't need to tear game companies down. I've worked as a game dev. I have founded 2 game studios. I know how hard it is to be a game developer. Excuse me, I know exactly what it takes to get a game out the door. Most of these people do not know what it takes. That's why they are armchair developers who have no clue what it takes to make a game. We do a lot of things on my channel, like celebrate the artists and the voiceovers and the actors and the performances. We talk a lot about the importance of the world building teams and the sound effects teams and the VFX teams. We focus on doing deep dives into the games that we play and just having fun playing those games. So no, I will not be reacting to or making any content around those types of people. What I will say to them is thanks for the free engagement, and as always, troll tears fuel my retirement. I am happy to provide free content for other people. It is what pays my bills. There's no such thing as bad publicity, and those types of people aren't the type of people we want in our audience in the first place. So by them showcasing my content in a way that caters to their angry rage bait incel audiences, that filters out all of the people that I don't want in my community in the first place. So what comes through are the people who actually give a shit about what I do and what I create. People who are here for the community that we have built up over the last few years, and who are here for the right reasons. So it's called being an adult and realizing that we're all allowed to have different opinions. And there's no such thing as, you're the reason Bethesda makes bad games because you're just willing to just shill for this slop. Like, if you watch my review, actually, I just did the review of Free Lanes. I literally criticized the last, like, 30% of my videos, me criticizing the performance on the PS5 Pro. But I also have 2.5 years on the Xbox, so I know that the game runs exceptionally well. I played it on the Xbox Series X since launch, and I have not had any issues. And it performs wonderfully on the Xbox. So I can make the criticism that the PS5 performance needs work without calling the game slop or garbage or trash. Bethesda already made a statement today that they will be making a hotfix to address the patches, because that's what companies do. They patch their fucking games. There is no reason to call a publisher or developer trash or garbage just because you dislike the type of game they make. So, no, I will not be participating in the tit-for-tat, mud-throwing, name-calling, any of that stuff. People can make whatever content they want to make about me. It's all free traffic for me. It shines a spotlight on what we're doing and the games that we play, one of which is Starfield. I play many games every single year. I know that some people think that I only play Starfield. Trust me, I play a lot of games every year. We were just talking about this earlier in the stream. I play 30 to 40 games a year minimum. This is the day job. We work with a lot of companies. I've already worked with Tactical Adventures, Nacon. We're working with Owlcat Games coming up. Obviously worked with Bethesda, working with Funcom and Dune Awakening. Like, lots and lots and lots of projects. Lots of games get played here. It is a brilliant game, William Ross. Ghost says, the fact that you were doing a whole series of guides again for us newcomers, you're welcome. I mean, it's how I make a living. I would be stupid not to make new guides for the PlayStation. I've also done the same thing for Fallout 76, Fallout 4, other games, you know, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I've made guides for those games on multiple platforms. Alright, I gotta scroll through chat because Garrett did a Renfail rant. JK says because Ren is what we call an adult. Oh, you're redeeming a rant from Detroit. Okay. All right, let me grab my pen because this will be another clippable. So this Renfail rant is Gyard claiming over on Twitch for 5,000 points for user Detroit Life 313, who had made a comment about how people who say when you've played one space game, you've played them all. You know, I think that if you've only ever played one type of space game, I think that might be true. I think that the majority of these types of comments are coming from people who only know like No Man's Sky, or like their version of a space game is like, and the thing too is they will cherry pick the things that they like from those games. But No Man's Sky is a good example that a lot of people will draw from, or Elite Dangerous, right? But the reality is that there are many different types of space games. Battlestar Galactica Daedalus is a space game. I think that was the name of it. Knights of the Old Republic is a space game. Mass Effect is a space game. Star Wars Outlaws is a space game. EVE Online is a space game. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go to Google because my brain is going to like fail me about all these types of space games. List of space games. Hang on. Category: video games set in outer space. Let's just go through here. Oh my god, there's a huge list. Aliens, Dark Descent, Angry Birds, Star Wars, Astrobot, Dino Crisis, Doom, the entire Doom series, Earthworm Jim series, Everspace 2. Everspace 2 is a phenomenal game, by the way. Space Invaders, Space Jump. Space Invaders is a great example of a really old space game. Battle Morph. The Callisto Protocol. I'm literally just scanning through this list really quick and looking at things. Cyberpunk 2077 is not a space game. Why is that listed as a space game? Let's skip that one. That's science fiction, but not a space game per se. I'm just looking at names that I actually recognize. Gravanaut. The Fantastic Four video game? Never played that. Huh. The Kerbal Space Program. Mega Man. That's not a space game. It's just set in space. I'm scrolling. Anyway. There are lots and lots and lots and Wing Commander. The Wing Commander games are space games. Freelancer was a space game. Technically, you go to space one time in Cyberpunk. You're not wrong. Space Invaders, Earth and Beyond. I'm sure we could sit here. StarCraft, yeah, StarCraft. We could sit here and go on for the next 6 hours about space games, right? So I do think it really is a pretty narrow point of view when you say that all, if you've played one space game, you've played them all. I think the person, Destiny's a space game. Correct, Destiny 2 as well. Like, I think you really need to sit down. Arc Raiders, Marathon. Technically are set in space. You need to define, what do you mean by space game? Do you mean space simulator? Do you mean flight simulator? Do you mean, what do you mean by space game? That's an extremely broad topic because there are so many different types of games that are set in space. Because we can start getting into, because then there's all the Star Wars games, like and then there's the Command and Conquer stuff where you're taking over planets and you're having fleets of ship, and it's turn-based RTS, like Dune Spice Wars as an example, where you are that's a real-time ×4, I think is what it's called, but an RTS ×4. Dune Awakening as a massive crafting survival science fiction game. There are lots of different types of space games. So I get the feeling that when people make that argument, they are thinking about specifically, they're looking at like Elite Dangerous or No Man's Sky, and they are equivalating space game to a game where I can fly my ship and manually land and take off, which is like EVE Online, technically Star Citizen, even though it's not launched yet. But I mean, you could also say the same for like Everspace 2, but that's never in the equation. Most people are always wanting to talk about like No Man's Sky, which is interesting because for all the things that No Man's Sky does good, I would not consider that to be a space sim, because it's more of it's Minecraft in space. It's a crafting survival game first and foremost that just happens to be set in space. And the flight controls in that game are absolute dog shit. And if you're talking about a game that is actually more of a space simulator, flight sim, you would be looking at more like Elite Dangerous or what Star Citizen is trying to build. And Elite Dangerous at this point is a decade or more old. I don't even know. And it doesn't even support consoles anymore because it doesn't have a big enough audience. Then you have games like Star Wars Squadrons, which came out 5 or 6 years ago, something like that, which was a phenomenal game, which had some amazing multiplayer VR support, full flight stick support. That's a space game. So I do think that when someone says if you've played one space game, you've played them all, I think that they're just full of shit. That's just, it's too broad of a topic. They need to be more specific about what exactly they mean by space game. Because even if you say space simulator or flight simulator, well, what kind? Because there's Everspace 2 versus EVE Online versus Star Citizen versus, like, there's all these different types of, like, do you mean a game where you're getting into a cockpit and you're controlling it with a HOTAS setup? Then we're talking like a flight sim style of space game, like Star Wars Squadrons or Elite Dangerous or, Wing Commander or, what Star Citizen is working towards with Squadron 42 and stuff. But again, those are much different than an RPG set in space, like Starfield or Knights of the Old Republic or Mass Effect, as examples. And it's much different than a RTS game that is set in space, like Dune Spice Wars. That's like someone saying if you've played a shooting game, you've played them all. Right, because then we can talk about like all the different types of shooter games, including going back to the arcade shooter games where you're standing in front of an arcade with an actual rifle in your hand. Like, it's way too broad of a stroke, because there's just way too many space games. So yeah, I think that is one of those bad faith arguments of people who are just like, they really haven't played any games, and what they mean by that is they're referring to the 1 or 2 space games that they've played, which they didn't like, and so they then claim that all space games are like those space games and they suck because of reasons. And it's like, well, you actually need to go out and play lots of games to be able to understand the nuance of all the different types of space games that are out there. So that was a great question, for sure. But there are lots of different types of space games. GTA 5 is considered a space game. I wonder why. Yeah, that's already, there's a post on their website, Ning2, about the changes that are coming. Yes, it's brilliant. They're finally stripping the PvP out and making it into its own instance. So there's going to be a PvE version of the Deep Desert and a PvP version, and you get to choose where you go, which is great. So when we come back around and play Dune Awakening again on the console, we will be having a good time. I no longer ride motorcycles. I rode a lot of motorcycles when I was younger and had a really bad accident and don't ride anymore.
You are out of it.
I used to do motocross stuff when I was younger. And I took a, I don't know how much you're going to be able to see this, to take my glove off. I don't know how much you'll be able to see that. You see that scar right there? And then it actually continues right here. It goes all the way down my arm. So it goes all the way from the wrist, all the way down to my elbow. That's a really old scar. When I was 16 years old, I took a KX-80 into a barbed wire fence after a bad land at like 60 miles an hour and fucked my arm up, and have not really ridden since then. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing this professionally. This is not a career for me. I was just riding for fun, and just like, yeah, I'll pass.
Things are always rough.
But I did used to ride, and I have You know, I've talked about it with my wife, like the idea of like getting a weekend rider and just cruising the highways, but like people don't, it's too risky. People don't give a shit about motorcycles. They don't pay attention. They drive like assholes. They drive like idiots. I don't want to risk it.
Do the
It's
job
just
for
not
me,
worth it.
and the bottle's yours. What do you want? Can't you go bother somebody else?
No, I want to bother you and you alone.
Lucky me. Look, I'm here on business. I don't have time to be dealing with strangers, so if there's a point, you should get to it.
Need to get some palm vinegar.
Well, I haven't made a run to Paradiso.
Correct.
in
People don't pay
weeks,
attention to
so
bikes.
I've only got one bottle left. But if it's for Harb, maybe I'll make an exception. How about this? I'll give you the vinegar and whatever spices you need. But you gotta do a favor for me.
I'm listening.
Cool. Job isn't hard, but it'll take some finesse. So, a couple nights ago, security confiscated my goods. They accused me of smuggling contraband.
Exactly, JK.
Before
when
they
you
brought
ride,
me
you
in,
have to assume
though,
every
I
car's mission
stashed
is to
something
kill you.
important in the porta potty
And
behind
if it was
Andy's.
just me,
Only problem is,
I would probably
I left
keep.
the key
I
to
would
the
probably
box in the
ride.
cell.
But my wife is very adamant that we don't. So since she says no, okay, we're not riding. But if it was just me, as an adult, I wouldn't mind. You know, I have actually spent way more hours than I care to admit looking at bikes over the years. Like maybe once or twice a year, I will lose myself on a website just looking at bikes and going, you know, I could get a bike brand new for like 25 grand and decked to the gills, you know, and there are some really cool bikes out there these days. And, you know, all automatic transmissions and super comfortable. And I'm just like,
still in
God,
there.
man. And then I'm like, yeah, but I also don't want to die.
cool. The guards usually leave empty cells open, so just walk in, grab it, and bring it back to me.
All right.
You don't need to wear your helmet on this planet. You know that, right?
He said we could just walk in. I don't think I can, but we're gonna find out. What's up, Sweet
Can you
Pea?
get a moment? Can we talk? Hey, good to see
Right
you.
now, you wanted to talk, Sam?
Hey, I saw you take something. Hand it over.
I'm with the Rangers. It's evidence for a case.
Well, I don't know how it ended up here, but if it's Ranger business, go ahead and take it.
Thank you very much, buddy. That was awesome. I got busted, but I was able to flip my badge and be like, yo, it's cop business. I'm a Ranger, bitch. Here's the badge. Dude, that's legit. Oh, I'm so glad I went and did the Ranger quests before I did this one, because that's awesome. I am the law. THCXD said I picked up Starfield on Friday, haven't been able to put it down. Didn't buy it previously because of all the notions that people had about it, but this shit is severely underrated. You're not wrong. Anybody who has actually played the game has a great time playing the game. End of story. Like, it's anybody who actually plays the game has great things to say about the game. It's only the people who haven't played the game who like to rant about how the game sucks, or how it hasn't progressed, or how Bethesda's not advancing and they need to go to the creation engine, they need to get rid of the creation engine, and blah 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 blah.
I'd appreciate your advice. After our last talk, I was really worried what you'd say, but I always feel better. Thank you. Cora's grandpa, good old Jacob, well, he just will not stop pestering me to see Cora. And that's complicated.
That's a good quote, JK. My dad always said there's no point arguing you were right when you're doing it from a hospital bed. That's, yeah, that's legit. That's legit. Cora's got a lot of people that care for her.
I mean, can you blame them? She's something else. But things with my dad, my early years, they weren't good. My mother died when I was 7. Some people have such strong memories from their early life. Me, I mean, I remember her. I have some pictures. I remember the feelings, but just a few clear memories.
I'm sorry to hear about your mom. What do you remember?
She had these truly ancient cameras, like caveman type things. She had a room with a red light. She developed pictures she took in this chemical bath. I remember sitting on a stool, looking up at them slowly fading in, and it was like alchemy to me then. And that's all I have. Just glimpses like that.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about her.
Oh, it's all right. It's ancient history. So, Jacob raised me on his own, and shit, maybe I don't give him enough credit. I mean, I know how tough it is, but he was strict, hard. Dad was a longtime civil servant, a big man in government, and he had a future all laid out for me.
I bet he did.
Man, could he get his hooks into you. He was scary good at that.
This actually sounds like my own stuff. Sweet Pea says, great numbers on Twitch. We've been having good numbers overall. Like, I've always had good numbers with Starfield. Ever since I started playing the game, it's always been a very good performer for us. But I was talking about this in the channel video we did last night for our members on YouTube, doing the recap. So, like this morning, as an example, we had about 100. I think we had about 120 people on YouTube and about in between 80 and 90 on Twitch. And our morning sessions are always our strongest sessions. So, like right now, it looks like we've got 80. I've been seeing between 80 and 90 on Twitch, and like between 60 and 70 on YouTube. We were up to about 100 about 30 minutes ago, but we've dropped off a little bit. We are in the afternoon slot, which is not my best slot because I have a huge Oceanic and European audience who are more active in the morning streams. So I always get a bigger audience there. But I will say that, yes, the numbers have been very solid ever since the launch of Starfield on the PS5. So I'm very happy to see new people coming in, new people continuing to enjoy it. You know, we are continuing to have solid numbers across the board, across all the things. And also because I do think there is a general overall vibe when you have these really big content creators who all they do is bitch about Starfield. And there is a hunger for people to see the other side of things about, you know, the game's actually a really good game if you like this type of game. If you don't like this type of game, that's fine. It doesn't mean the game is slop or garbage. It's just not for you. And I think that we have proven ever since I started playing this game when it first came out on the Xbox that there has always been an audience for Starfield, because there are actually people playing this game and actually people who give a shit, despite the fact that these select few big YouTubers claim everything to the contrary. So
exactly. If we wanted big bloated government, we'd head over to the UC. He was my dad, though.
It just came out on the PS5, but it has been out on the Xbox and PC for 2.5 years.
I wanted to do him proud. He said I had to learn the business.
which I have been playing
run
it
some freight, see
since
how
then.
credits flow, speak the language. Meanwhile, he's working some angle for a government job for me after. That sounded even more miserable than what I was doing.
Oh, we should have been a long time ago. We have seriously make-up time. We have
Imagining
to
you
make up for
around
lost
back
time.
then. Let's just say you would have been, distracting. But I had a point, if I could remember it. Even after I was with the Rangers, Dad was just always needling, angling for me to join the government. But by then I knew myself more, and I could stand up to him. And Lillian, well, she helped.
I still
If
haven't
let
met
Jacob into
Lillian.
Cora's life, he'll dream up some big future for her and tie her into knots like he did with me. The man could teach a master class in manipulation.
This storyline is so interesting to me, especially because my brother and I are basically both. He's way more than I am, but we are essentially no contact with our parents, specifically because my dad. And this storyline, I've never tried to romance Sam before, so this storyline is like, oh wow, this is I completely understand where you're coming from, bro. Because like my brother in particular, they've been no contact with my parents, not allowed to talk to the grandkids or anything for other than at rodeos. The kids are allowed to go talk to my grandparent. The kids are allowed to go talk to my parents, their grandparents, at the rodeos, but that's it. Other than that, they have no
This
contact.
is kind of fun.
Because
Oh,
of
kinda.
this kind of stuff, manipulative, crazy stuff. All right. Ooh, lots of interesting options here. If he does anything like that, I'm sure you'd shut it down fast.
I would try, that's for damn sure. No guaranteeing I'd succeed. I guess I got more to think about.
Alright, we can go give these back. Turn the key to heavier.
You didn't hear this from me, but those ecliptic mercenaries, factions use them sometimes. Freestar Collective and UC both. That's why they give them a
What do you want?
Got the baby formula you had stashed.
I didn't ask you to do that. Your job was to get the key. But whatever, it looks like it's all here. Deal's a deal. You can give this to Harp. It's pretty good stuff, so he has no excuses. And tell him I'm interested in seeing what he cooks up.
Okay. Well, I had the baby formula.
Not what you thought it was it?
I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, although I get why you'd be suspicious. My girlfriend's father works in Freestar Security. Given my rap sheet, safe to say he doesn't approve of our relationship. If he saw the formula, it wouldn't take a detective to put 2 and 2 together. And knowing him, the first thing he'd do is lock me up.
That sucks, bro. Why not just talk to her?
It's not that simple. He's busted me on a few occasions. And her ex, he's a member of the guard.
Oh, dude, yeah, you got it hard,
not
man.
only a junkie, but I'm a homewrecker too. Meanwhile, her ex can do no wrong, even though he's done plenty.
Oh, that sucks, bro.
We were both staying at the Low House. She was 2 months pregnant at the time and just got out of a rough situation with her ex. I had just gotten clean. We talked about our problems, our hopes, our dreams, all the way until the sun came up. Then we went to Aggie's for breakfast. Best meal of my life. You know, sometimes something just feels right from the get-go. Like it all just clicks.
They said they've identified
Just me
a
and
handful
Sadie.
of issues that are causing crashing on the PS5s. So, I've had so ever since I turned the PSSR 2 off, I've only had 3 crashes. Well, 1 crash and 2 times it is frozen. So I'm still having the crash on the... if I try to build the new habitat that came with free lanes while I'm in enhanced mode, it crashes every single time I try to place it on the environment. But if I go into performance mode, I can place it just fine. So there's definitely a shader. If I had to guess, it's a shader or a texture issue when you're using enhanced mode on the PS5 that is causing that to crash. That's the only hard crash I've had. Everything else has been freezes. And they're the same types of freezes I saw at the very beginning of the Xbox launch as well. So it's generally when I'm dropping into a heavily congested area. Cyberpunk 2077 had this as well. Like if I'm dropping into the middle of a heavily congested area, where there's like lots of combat, or it's lots of vegetation, or lots of animals, most people are reporting lots of crashing when they are out in the environment, cruising around on their rover, exploring the planets. And it's something to do with the way that it's loading the vegetation and the animals and so on and so forth. So I have seen it freeze a couple of times for me. But I mean, I'm 60 hours in, and the only crashes I've seen have been related to the building. That's an easy fix, put it in performance mode. And then out from that, it's just been, there have been some freezes. Like when I did the ground pounder mission, I had the exact same freeze on my Xbox Series X when the game came out. When you hit the ground pounder mission and you go to that base and you're supposed to defend it from like 3 waves of bad guys, and the ship comes down a couple of times and drops off reinforcements, and there's like 30 different guys on the field that you're fighting. That used to crash. It froze for me a couple of times on the Xbox when it launched. It also, my first time doing the ground pounder mission, it also froze, and I had to manually restart the game there as well. So it's just stuff with like major things happening on screen. It'll get patched. It's not a big deal.
Are you my blind date? Well, if you are terribly late. I don't think this bodes well for the rest of our relationship. In fact, judging by your attire, you'll be lucky to survive the next 5 minutes.
Good things come to those who wait.
Really? The first thing out of your mouth is a cliche. This is not going well for you.
Well, you know.
You can't possibly be the person my sister told me about, which means I've been stood up. How quaint. Do you mind then telling me who you actually are?
Habajan needs help with a meal. He needs wine and guests.
Habajan sent you. In that case, of course I'll attend. On one condition. You sit here and take my date's place.
Oh, absolutely.
Splendid. You're just my type. Willing to do as I say. Now, if you don't mind taking a seat here, we can have a little fun.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a blast.
You should try Filburn's beer. It's brewed in the city and it ain't bad.
I've already started with the drinks. Would you like a wine or a beer?
Oh, wine, please.
May I suggest then this Pinot Noir from Chandra Vineyards?
And she has great
notes
taste
of
in
cranberry
wine.
And licorice. Goes well with the dust.
Oh my God.
Now,
We
tell
are
me
going to get
about
along
yourself.
just fine.
Are you from around here or just visiting?
I am a Freestar citizen.
But there's multiple planets in the collective, and a stark difference between the neon lights and the Aquila mud.
There you go,
That
Sweet Pea.
aside, you can live just about anywhere these days. It's more important to have the income to move about. What about a job? What do you do for a living?
Oh, wow. I'm with Constellation.
Oh, so you're unemployed. I'm afraid if you want to date me, that won't do. In fact, it's taking
Gold
everything in
digger.
my power not to walk out the front door. Granted, I am rich, so what you do for a living isn't really important. What matters more is that we have similar beliefs and politics. On that note, what's your religious background?
Yeah. Not into religion.
Neither am I. Although I do like astrology.
Yeah, she literally called me unemployed.
But
Judgy.
that's fine for the appetizers.
She is a
for the
little
main
bit
course.
judgy.
romantic history, past relationships, jilted ex-lovers. I want to hear all about it.
It's a long story. I don't know if we have time for it.
Ooh, if that's the case, I may need to ask for your medical records, just in case. Well, you've managed to keep my interest so far.
Yep, they
Usually
made a
I
Twitter
get
post
dreadfully bored by the
earlier today.
appetizers. I almost never make it a dessert.
With your personality, it's hard to see where you're. It's hard to see where it is. I'm enjoying myself as well.
I'm starting to get butterflies just thinking about it. But seeing as our friend Harvey needs us, that will have to wait for another time.
The term is
In any
freelancer,
case,
madam.
I've enjoyed our little chat. Thank you for playing along. And if I can be...
If I
real
get
with
to
you
it,
for a
yes, I will be
second,
doing New Game Plus,
I'd really
but
appreciate you
it's
doing
way
this
too
for me.
far away. Like,
I know this wasn't an actual date, but being stood up is
starting
an
tomorrow, I
absolutely
will no
miserable
longer be doing
experience.
afternoon
Meeting you
streams
made
for a
it
little
tolerable.
bit because we have replaced starting tomorrow on the Xbox. So starting tomorrow, we will be playing Starfield in the mornings and replaced in the afternoons, and that will continue for the rest of the month. There's also going to be some Hades 2 in the afternoons, and I know on the 28th I've got Diablo, and then on the 30th I have Saros. So, you know, we're going to see how the traffic is for all of those games, but the primary game all the month of April is going to be Starfield in the morning sessions. And then afternoon slots, which is what we're playing in right now, this becomes the second games. Yes, oh, by the way, anybody who's new here, my schedule is posted on YouTube at the beginning of every month. So if you want to know what games I'm going to be playing and you happen to be new to the channel, just make sure to get over to YouTube. Everything in between the streams happens over there. We are always live on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok. 2 streams a day. 5 a.m. in the morning, we do about 4 hours. Come back in the afternoon at 1 p.m. We do another 4 hours, more or less. We do 7 to 8 hours a day of streams. In between, lots of video production, guides, the Renfail rant series, movie stuff, TV shows, things of that nature. And my schedules. Every month around the 2nd or 3rd of the month, I publish a video about what games I'm going to be playing for the month. So, lots of Starfield this month in the morning slots, and then afternoon slots are going to be other things. And then I'm probably just going to keep playing Starfield all the way through May as well in the morning slots. Assuming I don't have like a game that is... Because again, everything I'm doing is like traffic first, fun first. As long as Starfield's getting good views, we'll keep going. But I have a lot of built-in interest with Starfield with my audience, and I do want to get through and build up this character. I've talked about this. The lights just went dim a little bit. I'm wondering if we're having power draw this afternoon. The way I'm looking at this is my big old Xbox playthrough has about 600 hours on it. This character, no. So I'm thinking about keeping my PlayStation version of Starfield the vanilla. I've already installed a couple of mods on my Xbox version. I think what I'm going to do is just pursue this all the way to New Game Plus. I may or may not take this character through the New Game Plus. I may just keep them in the same universe. And then go back to my Xbox playthrough to start playing around with mods. I think Chris was using the microwave, that's why. I'll go back to the Xbox and I'll start playing around with mods, which will happen later. But we are a long way from that because the reality is I've got to get through all of the base game content. We've got to get through... I still got to see the new Terranon mod. I haven't even been to Shattered Point yet. Anchor Point. Like the... Shattered Space, Jesus. I haven't even been to Anchor Point Station, whatever it is. The new location in Freelance. Like, Freelanes. You guys got me talking Freelance. I can't talk. I need more coffee. I have lots and lots and lots of Starfield ahead of me. It's going to be a long time before we get to that point. I expect this to be a 150-ish hour playthrough minimum for this character. But I don't know if I'll take him through the Unity or not. Because I do kind of want to just have this as the vanilla character that I can play when new releases come out, and then I can have the Xbox version to like throw mods on and
we should definitely
play around
do
with
this
things.
again next time.
And that's my
treat.
big character anyway, who's done all this
Here's
stuff.
the wine, as promised. The earthy tones of the Malbec will balance the pepper and complement the spices. Should pair well with the Vindaloo.
Yeah, you could look at Obsidian
I'll do my best
Entertainment
to
as a
make it
great
hard to
example of
judge
that Dark Lord
And if
Strider.
you have any other questions, feel
Oh
free to
shit,
ask
that was a
them. I'm
Renfail
an
rant.
open book.
I didn't realize it was a Renfail rant until I glanced over and saw that you had claimed a rant. Okay, hang on a second. That's a great topic. Jesus, you guys have kept me busy today. I have... So I've clipped that we have the cabin tour. We have Do You Play With Your Community? We have 2 Renfail rants that have already been claimed during this stream, and we just had a 3rd Renfail rant. I mean, hey, it's great. It's free money, man. Hang on. 327 Renfail rant from Dark Lord Strider on some game studios can never win. If you produce the same old game, it's considered stale and accused of having lost imagination and creativity. But on the other hand, if they make new games with new ideas, it's classed as not what the gamers asked for. And I had, before I realized that was a Renfail rant, I had started to answer that. So Obsidian Entertainment is the perfect example of a studio that likes to experiment with things. And every single time they experiment, they take shit from a group of people who blame them for taking risks. So, if you're not familiar with Obsidian, and there's going to be so much bark going on here, I maybe need to move away from all the NPCs and go up top so that we're not getting interrupted every 5 seconds by somebody trying to bark something at me. Because Bethesda NPCs like to interrupt your shit when you're talking. Compared to the safety of the rooftops. Obsidian got their start as a contract company who made games for other studios. They made Knights of the Old Republic 2. They made Neverwinter Nights 2. They made Fallout New Vegas. And then they went off and created their own universe with Pillars of Eternity and their own IP. They then went and did Pillars of Eternity 2, which was a follow-up on that. And then they began to get, they began to branch out. They became acquired by Microsoft. And once they got acquired by Microsoft, that gave them a much bigger budget. They were able to expand their team, and they started working on multiple projects. Grounded comes out. And all of a sudden, Obsidian starts taking tons of heat for creating a game that no one wanted. Even though that game went on to become a smash hit in the crafting survival genre. When it initially came out, you had a core group of people who were Obsidian fans, not really, they're anti-fans, who only wanted Obsidian to ever make top-down isometric RPG fantasy games in the veins of like stuff they had done before with like Neverwinter Nights 2 and Knights of the Old Republic 2 and all that stuff that they had worked on, or other things of that nature. They took a risk and they made their own IP, and those games were successful. Then they took another risk and tried out Grounded, and that got them criticism. Then they went and made Outer Worlds. Further criticism, because once again, you're not doing more turn-based, top-down, real-time with pause. Oh my god, what are you doing? And then they do Pentiment. They also did Tyranny. Tyranny was a great game, but then they did Pentiment. And if you haven't ever played Pentiment, or if you didn't watch Pentiment, Josh Sawyer, who is a brilliant game director, goes out on this creative limb and does this crazy, like, medieval investigation game where you're like a medieval detective, and it's called Pentiment. Go look at it. It has a super unique art style, presentation. It is not your typical game. It is really not. It's really out there on a creative limb, somewhere out there in left field, and it was not received well by many people because it was very creative. It was a creative risk. It was very different, and a lot of people didn't like it. And then they turn around and come out with Grounded 2 and Avowed. And Avowed was another one where people went, what the fuck are you doing? Pillars of Eternity games are only supposed to be top-down, isometric, turn-based, real-time with pause. You're not allowed to create a game in the vein of Skyrim or whatever, where it's a, first-person, third-person. You're not allowed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. Your game studio is known for making this type of game. How dare you? And it's like Outer Worlds 2, Grounded 2, Avowed, 3 games in a single year, all of which are that first-person, third-person perspective, all of which, well, especially with Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed, are both deep RPGs with a lot of fun, different worlds, different complete universes, and then Grounded 2, which is a crafting survival, which is technically in early access. Obsidian is always taking risks, creative risks, and as a result, they take a lot of flack. So that's definitely one part of it. Then you have a company like, because we're playing Starfield, and I know that that's part of the right reason that this conversation came up. Bethesda can never win because with a certain crowd, I should say, because if you produce the same old game, it's considered stale. And I know because someone mentioned it today, I'm aware that some of my content has gone viral about Starfield the past couple of weeks, and the past week in particular, and I know that there is a lot of discussion right now because I'm one of the content creators who got flown out to Bethesda's headquarters for the in-person Starfield event in March. And so there is this mindset that people like me are contributing to Bethesda not advancing as a company because people like me and people like all of you, by the way, the people who tune into my streams every day, the people who watch Bethesda's content everywhere, people like Babylonia, who's in our chat, who streams Bethesda games, people like Sweet Pea, who is a verified creator, people like Thorgan, who does lots of shipbuilding. We have so many people in our community who are huge fans of the Bethesda experience. I am only one of those people who happens to have a little bit of a soapbox, not a big soapbox, but it is a soapbox. We get accused of loving Bethesda games and loving this formula that is causing Bethesda to suck as a company, and Bethesda's not advancing as a company. And I'm aware that there's some videos that are going around, even as of today, from big people out there who don't like Bethesda, and they're accusing me and people like me of ruining Bethesda, and we're the reason that Bethesda games are shit because we like consuming garbage, swill, slop, and we are the reason why Bethesda is never going to advance as a company. And I say to that, like Babylonia just said in chat, good, I love my Bethesda already, give me more. I don't want Bethesda to change their formula. And I was very, very pleased when I was at Bethesda in the Q&A that we did with Todd Howard. He actually said one of the things he was addressing was Bethesda has a formula. We make games according to this formula because that's what our fans want. So we're not going to be changing that formula just because other companies are doing things differently. We are going to take what we've always done, Creation Engine. We're doing Creation Engine 3 for the Elder Scrolls 6. We are innovating with that engine in a way that we've always innovated, from Creation Engine 1 to Creation Engine 2 to Creation Engine 3, making that engine do better things, cooler things, but we are always going to be producing Bethesda DNA games. And that's a good thing, because I don't want my Bethesda games to feel like a Cyberpunk CD Projekt Red game. I don't want my Bethesda games to feel like a Hello Games No Man's Sky game. I don't want my Bethesda games to feel like a BioWare game or an Obsidian game. I don't want it to feel like Fortnite or Call of Duty. And that's what a lot of people want. They find a game that they hyperfixate on, and then they want all the other games to play exactly like that one. And trust me, you don't actually want that, because that leads to stagnation. And it also leads to a situation where every game becomes a Call of Duty clone or a Fortnite clone or a World of Warcraft clone. And those games never do well because they are never going to do what the original did as well. And so they just wither off and die. What we do want are companies who find a niche that works for them and create games within that niche, and to continue to produce games within that niche. So in terms of Bethesda, they have a style, they have a modding community that is in the hundreds of millions in terms of the amount of people who buy their games, play their games, mod their games. they do not need to change. They have a growing audience all the time. The funniest thing is looking at like I would say the renaissance of Fallout because of the Fallout television show, which is bringing in an entire new generations of fans, new generation of fans into the Fallout universe. And the interesting thing about that is if you go look at what all of the new fans have to say about Fallout, it fucking rocks. Fallout is awesome. Fallout is great. Fallout 76 is an amazing game. We're loving Fallout 76. We're loving Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition. We're loving Fallout Shelter. We're loving the Fallout show. This is awesome. We had no idea that this franchise existed. Fallout is epic. Let's go to the Fan Fest. Let's go to the second Fan Fest. Let's play more Fallout. Fallout on the Switch. Fallout on the PlayStation. Fallout on the PC. Fallout on the Xbox. When you see new fans coming into a franchise and loving everything they see because those are all great games, that is a sign of a company that doesn't need to change because they already have a formula that works. That's how they got there in the first place. Are there some people who are upset that they haven't gotten a new Elder Scrolls game? Yeah. Do they have a big audience? Some of them do. Do they cry a lot? Yeah. That's how they make money, by crying about how Bethesda's never going to change. They don't make good games anymore. Pete Hines just did an interview and talks about blah, 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 blah. This guy came away and said, Todd Howard held me back from creating my ultimate vision for the next Elder Scrolls game. They promised me that I could be creative director and that they didn't let me in. I'm going to rant about it 20 years after I left the company. Nah, man. Like, whether you're talking BioWare, whether you're talking Bethesda, whether you're talking Obsidian, whether you're talking CD Projekt Red, Larian Studios. Do you know how much flack Larian Studios got when the trailer came out for the new Divinity game, and they didn't immediately confirm in that trailer at the Game Awards show, they didn't confirm that that was going to be a turn-based game. So I initially made a reaction video to that game trailer, right? And the internet blew up with people going, oh my god, how dare they create an action-based game? How dare they how dare they move away from the turn-based formula? They're betraying everything. And it's like, you do realize that Larian Studios has like made action games before. They only moved into turn-based games with Original Sin 1, Original Sin 2, and Baldur's Gate 3. They then later came and confirmed that the new Divinity game was going to be a turn-based game with everything they'd learned from Divinity Original Sin 1, 2, and Baldur's Gate 3, which is awesome. But the funny thing was the internet reacting to the fact that they didn't announce that it was going to be a turn-based game. And so a lot of people assumed it was going to be an action game like The Witcher. And suddenly you had this huge subset of people like, how dare Larian Studios do something that's not turn-based? It's like, guys, they literally started off making games that were action games. They didn't make turn-based games to start with. That was something they got into later on in Larian's history. But people know Larian because they make turn-based games. And the moment that Larian actually steps out and goes and makes a non-turn-based game, you're going to have people up in arms. I will also say you can also see a lot of people making the same types of noise about the Expanse game that is coming out from Owlcat. We're going to be playing that. Owlcat reached out and got me a beta code, so we're going to be playing that on the 22nd, and I've got some videos that are coming up, so stay tuned for that. And there are already people who are upset about that, because what has Owlcat done over the past few years? They've done the 2 Pathfinder games, they've done Rogue Trader, and they've got an upcoming sequel to Rogue Trader, all 4 of which are top-down CRPG turn-based games. And here they're doing the Expanse, which is not a turn-based game. It's a 3D action adventure, over-the-shoulder, Mass Effect style, and you have people who are doubting that they're going to be able to pull that off, even though they've showed off some really cool footage and everything else. There are people who are out there who are adamant that they're not going to be able to do it because they've never done it before. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Machine Games got a lot of flack for making that game because they had never made a puzzle game before. They had only ever done the Wolfenstein games. And people said, there's no way the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is going to be a good game because you guys have no experience making puzzle-based games. They come out, the game kicks fucking ass. It kicks so much ass. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a phenomenal game, and the puzzles were absolutely dope as hell. But you had people who doubted that they were going to be able to pull it off because they had never done it before, because their Wolfenstein games were not heavy on the puzzle aspect of the games. So, It's just people who don't understand game development crying about things they don't understand. So yeah, some game studios can never win because people don't know what they actually want, and it is so silly because they're like, I want this company to make more of the same, but then I'm going to yell about the company changing their formula when they do something that's not the same. So I want them to do things different, but when they do something different, I yell about how they're doing something different. Some people just can't be happy no matter what, which is why it's fake outrage, 100% Dark Lord Strider. It is 100% fake outrage. And we talked about this the other day. Some people are never happy no matter what because they're just miserable human beings. For me personally, we got asked the other day, are people going to change their minds about Starfield? Nope. Some people hate Bethesda no matter what. And that's just how they're always going to be. Bethesda is never going to be able to make games good enough for those people. And that's it. Great rant. Great question. Yeah, these are like arthritis gloves, DSM. They're like, so I've been playing a lot, and the PlayStation 5 controller gives me thumb fatigue. So supposedly these are like copper lined. Supposedly they're supposed to help with like arthritis and stuff. I don't have arthritis, but I do get tendonitis and like thumb fatigue and finger fatigue from pulling triggers and stuff. So since I've been playing long hours, I've been trying these out to see. I've had them for a while. They're compression gloves. I've had them for a few years. I bought them when I had my finger injury. When I ripped the tendon off my finger when I was playing Baldur's Gate 3, and I couldn't use this finger for a while, like 8 months, and so I was using my middle finger for the mouse and everything. And then when I got back into playing with the console, I was having a lot of finger issues, like pain issues from pulling the trigger on this, and then this thumb gets a lot of fatigue. So I got these gloves to see, and I do feel like they help because they do kind of restrict your movement a lot, so you're not flailing around when you're moving and stuff. And yeah, Crimson Desert was also giving me issues because I was playing so many hours. Can you change your gender and character appearance? At character creation, you can. Yep. You absolutely can choose male or female if you want to be a male or a female character at the beginning of the game. You could also be anything you want to be in between. You get to create whatever character you want in the character creation. And if you say a fucking thing about pronouns, I'm going to ban your shit from my channel. So don't even fucking bring it up. If you're so fucking tender that you can't handle pronouns in a game, get the fuck out. You're not wanted here. But you can absolutely create a male or female or anything in between if you want. Starfield does have mods on the Xbox. It also has mods on the PlayStation. You can also change things at Enhance. I did not know that, TV Casualty. I forgot all about that, to be honest with you. You can also go to the Enhanced stores in the game, which are like cosmetic shops, and you can purchase you can change your character look in the game. I forgot all about that, guys. Thank you for clearing that up for me. You can go to Enhance and change it in the game. I've never done that, so that's something that I kind of have forgotten all about it, so I appreciate chat for stepping in and getting us up to speed on that. Mr. Furley says if some people couldn't bitch, they would have nothing to say. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Gray, are you in chat? Susan Ox says I changed my hairstyle. Now I need to change it back. I miss her mohawk. I'm always I wear helmets so much, but I like the look of this character. Very happy with the look of this character. Are you gonna stream today, Gray? Dr. Man says, how do you disable enemy ships? Man, that's another guide I can do. Let me put that on the list. I can give you a short example, but I can tell you about it, but I need to go make a guide on it too. Let me tell you very quickly, and then I will, at some point I need to go make a guide on that. How do you board ships? Oh, you're still at work? Okay, never mind, Gray. I was gonna say if Gray's about to go if Gray's about to go stream, I would go raid him. Bubbles, you're streaming tonight, right? All right. Here's how you board ships. First, you have to have this skill. You have to go into your skills, go over to the tech tree, and you have to take 1 point in targeting control systems. This unlocks ship targeting functionality. Then, when you are in combat, you have to wait to get the lock on. Once you have the lock on, you have to hit the button to open up the targeting window. The targeting window has a brief period of time within which you can target a specific aspect of the ship. Shields, engines, weapons, hull, whatever. Your objective is to disable the engines. So when you're trying to board a ship, you need to knock out the engines. If you can knock out the engines before you destroy the ship, they are dead in the water. You can then fly up and board them, take out the crew, steal the ship, sell the ship, do what you want. I will definitely do a video on that, so stay tuned for that. Well, I know Gray's going to be streaming at some point, so stay tuned to that. I know Bubbles is going to be streaming later tonight, I believe. I need to head out, everybody, even though I have an awesome audience, and I would love to stay more with all the viewers we have. I have been streaming for 8 hours already today. You guys have given me like 5 videos I got to go clip out. I am starving. I got to go get some food. I got to go feed my cats. And I got to get video editing and stuff done. So I've got a bunch of work to get done. So thank you for being here. I will be back with more Starfield tomorrow morning. More episodes of the playlist are airing. More videos are coming out tonight. I've already got another guide coming out tomorrow morning. We will be playing Replaced tomorrow afternoon, so stay tuned for that. And it will be Starfield in the mornings and Replaced in the afternoons for the foreseeable future, and probably some Hades 2 in there at some point, just so I can test it out and see if I like it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the Renfail rants today. Memberships, subscriptions, renewals, all those good things. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will catch everybody tomorrow for more fun.